Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
There it goes. Here's the Stone goes 47 for 20.
Force 1440.
And the Oilers Nation YouTube channel.
High cross tracking back as Rose does get ahead to it. Bobbled again. There's Sinclair. Wide open goal. It's Christine Sinclair.
Did you pick Bon Jovi because he saved the person? Well, a terrific Thursday afternoon. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, and Facebook. Hope you're ready for another kick-ass show, because I am. We're fired up. We got lots going on. It is always exciting when you're able to have one of the greatest of all time in their sport join us on the show. And that will happen today as Christine Sinclair, who is, of course, the all-time leader, most goals scored in international soccer for women. She has 190 of them in 329 games. She had herself an unbelievable career. So we'll talk to her about soccer. Also, did a little research. I'm very intrigued. I always like to try to find little nuggets that I don't know the answer to. And so I think there might be a big baseball fan in Christine Sinclair, which is quite nice. So we'll talk to her about that. Looking forward to it. Should be loads and loads of fun today. She will join us on the show in the 4 o'clock hour. Mike Moriali will be by from NHL. We will talk New Jersey Devils, one of the bigger disappointments in the league last year. Can they get back on track? A lot of people have them in the Rangers, maybe as a 1-2 in the Metro Division. Made a lot of changes. Jeff Tolbert will join us. Little Edmonton Huskies talk with their head coach, Theo Dorsey. Of course, it is Thursday night football. The Finns and the Bills. Bills a little underdog on the road at PlayAlberta.ca. If you want to get in the game, go to PlayAlberta.ca, our title sponsor. And it's the Daily Grand also, my favorite game. Because I think my odds are better to win. I haven't looked it up. I have no idea if it's true, but that's what I like about it. And I want to get that daily $1,000. Just, I don't know. For some reason, I think it would be unbelievable. Like, I know a one lump sing would be great too. Don't get me wrong. But this would be like you have a bad day. Oh, got another $1,000 today. Can't be that bad of a day. Now can it? So there you go. And hey, it's 7.2 million. Like, I don't need the 70 million. Well, of course I'd like it, but you know what I mean? I don't need to be greedy. I would take it. Just something about the Daily Grand. I want to win it. So get your tickets, PlayAlberta.ca. Matt Savoy will join us on the program today. Of course, he is probably the Oilers, I think, the headliner out at Penticton for the Young Stars tournament. They'll get in action tomorrow night against Vancouver, then Saturday night against Calgary, and Monday afternoon against Winnipeg. I would guess Savoy will play in 2 of those 3 games. We'll hear from Spec, Livingston. Lots going on in the racing world. Lots of changes. So we'll discuss that. Changes on and off the track. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. In our eWell inbox, that's where you can text us, get your thoughts. Of course, we're also live in the eWell studio. I like it. EWEL.ca. So the Thursday nighter, Connor Halley, no Mostert, and it's a Chan, right? God, I butcher that guy's name every time.
Devon Achan.
Achan. God, it's the worst. But Achan is, well, I guess he's going to dress, but I'm guessing Wilson might get the most touches at the back. And I'll say this. If you're the Miami Dolphins, this is one of those games when you're paying your quarterback $53 million, you got to find a way to win the game. Because I think you look at this game, it's one that, could be, it's going to go a long way in determining who finishes first in that division. No question in my mind. So it's a big game. So you look at this weekend, that game stands out. The New Orleans Saints. Was it just that they beat up on Carolina, who's horrific, or are the Saints legit? We'll find out. They're on the road in Dallas, Tampa Bay, and Detroit. Hey, the Bucs looked unreal, but it's week 1. Now they go into Detroit, who is a really, really good team. You also have the Chiefs hosting Cincinnati. The Bengals going to try to avoid going 0-2. Chicago, they're going to need better play from their quarterback, no question. Same with Atlanta. Atlanta's on the road in Philly. You went out, you spend big bucks on Mr. Cousins. He's going to have to be a lot better than he was in week 1. So lots of storylines. The Giants, how many? I wonder. I have to look at playalberta.ca. I don't think it's there. But how many passes did Daniel Jones put into the turf this Sunday? Honestly, I think that's a valid question, Connor. It's a valid question. Sorry, Giants fans. I know it's a tough time. I'm not piling on. I'm just pointing out the truth. It was brutal. What was the one line? I wish I could remember who said it, because it's not my line, and I'd credit them. Where they said, "Man, if the turf was a wide receiver, Daniel Jones would have had a hell of a week." God, it was true, man. That was one of the worst quarterbacking performances I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, he certainly leaves much to be admired if you are a New York Giants fan. It's interesting, though, Gregor, because when you've seen him have success in the past, it seems like they get him involved in the run-pass option a little bit. Only 6 carries for 15 yards. He's had some success. He's got some mobility. You really want to open it up, but I think the problem is, especially with losing Saquon Barkley, that loses a little bit of its, shine when you're giving the ball to potentially Devin Singletary. Maybe doesn't have as much of a scare as Saquon Barkley did. The New York Giants, I think they're going to be right at that bottom of the league conversation with the Carolina Panthers. And correct me if I'm wrong, but is that not the game in Germany?
Ooh, that's a good question.
What did the Germans do to deserve this?
How far do we want to go back?
That's the question. It's not going to be a very good one, and yeah, I think if you're a Giants fan, Strutty, you're waiting for a few more years before this thing turns.
Is that
around.
Honestly the game in Germany? Are you serious?
I'll confirm it.
Jeez, that will be brutal.
Yeah, it is November 10th.
Oh my goodness. Can someone ask me, how come when I try to click on the schedule at NFL.com and you click on the games, you have to sign up for this DAZN crap? I can't even see the game anymore. What the hell's going on that website? It's brutal. You see it if you go to NFL.com and you have the scores at the top and you click on one, and it doesn't show me the actual game. It reroutes it to that site. It's annoying.
All right. Yeah, it did it for me too.
Yeah. What is going on?
I can't even share my password with you because formerly you could get 2 IP addresses on one. Now they figured that one out. So you can only watch it by yourself unless you had a second account.
Yeah. So basically, if I even just want to see the game score, I can't see it now on the website because I got to pay $18 a month. Give me a break. Not doing it. I refuse.
ESPN's great.
Well, there you go.
That's where I go.
That's where I'll be going. So that's brutal. Hey guys, paying Jones $40 million after throwing 16 touchdown passes. Wow, the Giants are less than smart from Montana to Rice. Yes, MTR, you are correct. I said it the moment they signed it. What are you doing? You've done nothing. Well, it shows how much money you have to burn when you're an NFL owner. You can just wait. Look at the Browns. I'm sorry, Jack Michaels and everybody else who's a Cleveland fan, Jay Doughton. Your team deserves to suck for as long as sucking is allowed in the NFL. And I have no even ounce of empathy for the Browns organization for the worst contract in the history of the NFL. You sign a guy who is if he had a moral line, it would be under the sand. You saw him at his press conference today. Is this guy either that dumb or is that ignorant? Right? He was asked a simple question about, being a leader on that team. How much of it is on the field? How much is off the field? He couldn't answer the question. Right? And then he tried, well, geez, I never knew anything about these lawsuits. I'm as surprised as you are. Really? Yeah. Like, I don't know where and when it changed in our society that lying by public figures is just like, that's okay. Right? Like, it used to be a little thing where politicians, they'd stretch a tooth here and there. Like, now it's gone way overboard. Then you throw in sports athlete, musicians, just say stuff. People are like, well, I guess I got to believe them because, I like their music. What? Like, at some point, it's got to rein itself in. And the worst part is because you talk to people and adults, and I'm like, would you allow your kid to lie to you like that? Well, no. So you won't allow your kid to lie to you, but we're okay. Like Deshaun Watson, the guy, how many different masseuses did he go see? And anybody out there tries to defend his actions? Are you joking? And then the NFL lets him back in, and then the Browns give him a guaranteed contract. And that guarantee that they're going to suck for a long time. Good. Zero empathy for that. None. I hope they're terrible. I hope they never buy him out. And I hope they just keep getting worse. I hope they get blown out every weekend. Love it. But actually, that's not true because I don't want him to get the top pick. Just be like 6th worst. So you can't really get the great guy, but you're not going to be good enough. So there you go. Hey, guys, when did sneaky Pete Chiarelli become the GM of the Giants? Yowzer. That one, remember when they were talking about Pete Chiarelli being in the running again to be a GM? And I'm like, what? Why? I don't. Thankfully, it didn't come to fruition. I think sometimes there's like handshake agreements. Hey, buddy, can you do me a favor? Put my name out there just so people keep thinking about me. No thanks. No thanks. Hey, guys, when does the Oilers' main camp start, and is it open to the public? Well, their main camp will start a week today, next Thursday, Mike. And the Thursday wouldn't be open to the public. It hasn't been in the past. Saturday, for the last few years, normally is Friday or the Saturday. So I'll talk to JC and get confirmation about that. But based on the past, usually they do have one of those first 3 days, and sometimes 2 of them open to the public to come watch if time allows it and you're interested to watch. And away you go. I know there's lots of diehard fans that like to see it. This year's training camp a little bit different. There's not a new shiny toy that's a really high draft pick that there's a lot of expectations on. No, the new players are veterans. Jeff Skinner, Victor Arvidsson. Then, I think there's people interested. This will be Troy Stetcher's first training camp with Edmonton. Ty Emberson, Josh Brown, all on that right side. I guess Dermott now, you throw him in the list because of his PTO. But there's not, and Pud Colson. So there's not going to be like a young up-and-comer. Like I know Matt Savoy, who we're going to have on the show, and he's 20 years of age. He's going to want to come to camp, and his number one job is to get noticed and make the decision hard for the coaches. Right? And that's all he can do. But when you look big picture for Matt Savoy, it's probably best for him to play a ton of minutes, power play time in the minors to start. Might only need a half a season, right? He could be Jay Gensel. Lots of other guys have done it, right? Might only need 2 months. Who knows? But I do think there's something to be said about, getting some confidence, and more importantly, minutes played. This guy needs to play minutes. He doesn't need to come up to Edmonton, play on their, the third or fourth line 10 minutes a night. That does zero good for him and zero good for the organization long term, because you're not going to be a difference maker in that limited time, especially when you're not a penalty killer. I don't see how it would benefit him at all. So next Thursday is when it opens up on the ice. Medicals actually are next Wednesday. The if I look at I think it's the 21st, Cons, because the preseason begins on the 22nd. I think the 21st is for sure. I just don't know about the 20th. So I'll have to look that up. But away you go. I know that in the past you could it was open, but then they put a ticket thing on it. So there you go. 833-401-1440. You can text us in. Hey, Gregor, so you're basically saying you want the Browns to be the Flames from Sean. Well played, Sean. Well played. I don't have there's nothing that Calgary has done that comes remotely close to that Browns decision. The Flames, they lost some key guys, not by choice. Now, some would argue that, had they handled the negotiations better early on, then maybe they would have re-signed. I don't know. That might be hearsay. I don't know if there's any proof to it, but that's a conversation. The Tkachuk, Huberdeau, and Weegar, Weegar's still a really good player. Huberdeau's never going to live up to his contract. He's not going to be as bad as he was the first year in Calgary. I don't even know if he'll ever get back to being an 80-point player. He wasn't going to be a 100-point guy. That was his career outlier year. But he was a pretty good player for 5 years. I think he was the 5th highest scoring player in the NHL for a 5-year period. That's pretty darn good. But he's not a 115-point guy. Heck, they would do cartwheels if we get back to 80. But I look at Calgary and, they've got some players, but it might be a tough sled there. And I know Oiler fans are probably not going to feel much empathy for him, but let's not, as far as I get why Oiler fans would want them to finish 6th. Because really, Calgary, I know Calgary's never had the number 1 pick overall in the NHL draft. They're one of, I think there's 3 teams left, maybe 4, that have never had the number 1 overall pick. And that's the Flames. I think 6 might be the highest they've ever had, right? Tkachuk, and they had a string of other number 6 picks that never worked out for them for many years. But yeah, I think I'm pretty sure Matthew Tkachuk is the at number 6 amongst a few others is their highest pick, right? They had 9th. They had 9th last year, Cons. I think they had 9th last year. I'm going, Tkachuk was 6th. Oh, no, sorry. Sam Bennett was 4th. My bad. They did have a number 4. Monahan, they took 6th. Not a bad pick at all. He's actually been a really good player in his draft class. Then you go back to in the 90s, they had Rico Fata went 6th. Daniel Tkachuk, spelled differently, went 6th. And Rico Fata played 230 games, had 27 goals. Daniel Tkachuk had played 19 NHL games in his career. So those 2 number 6s did not pan out. So yes, Corey Stillman, that was a really good number 6 pick, played over 1,000 games. So yes, they've had 1 top 5 pick in franchise history. Sam Bennett. Good pick, good player. Not Leon Draisaitl, though. Or even Sam Reinhart. But good player.
Gregor, one thing, if you just want to laugh at the Cleveland Browns a little bit more, with the contract that they kind of adjusted for Watson, next year he's going to be a $72 million cap hit. That's 22% of their cap. And the following year, when he's 31 and probably borderline out of the league, he'll take up 25% of their salary cap.
Awesome. Awesome.
And they can't get rid of him because it will kill them even more with dead cap money.
Oh, it's the old. Remember that joke they used to have? Here's for anybody watching in Oilers Nation on YouTube and Facebook. Here's the world's smallest violin playing "My Heart Bleeds for You." No, it does not. Yeah, I'll totally admit it. I'll be petty. There's zero forgiveness for that contract, and I hope they get all the bad karma possible because of it. When we come back, team that a lot of people are wondering, they'll take a step. Goaltending changes, defense changes, and one player who is not new, but seemed to really get comfortable last year. And he might be the difference maker offensively. We'll talk about that next on the Jason Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Some things just work together. Sticks and pucks, cleats and AstroTurf. Your love for the game and Papa John's passion for better ingredients. Better pizza. Nothing pairs with the game like Papa John's. Crafted with signature sauce, toppings, and original fresh dough. They're the champion of pizza. And now you're the champion of winning deals. Just order at papajohns.ca. Use promo code SPORTS20 and score 20% off any regular menu price order. Better ingredients. Better pizza, Papa John's. That's Sports 20.
Ain't it beautiful? What does excellence mean to you, and how does it impact your decisions? Friends, it's Carrie Dahl, and I know that at Volvo Cars Edmonton, excellence isn't an option, it's their everything. From customer satisfaction in sales, service, inventory, and retention, they excel in all. Congratulations, Volvo Cars Edmonton, Canada's only 12-time Volvo Excellence Award winners.
Volvo of Edmonton.
Neither snow nor rain nor heat nor gloom of night stays these fine folks from the swift completion of their appointed work, or something like that. They're the fine folks at GS Construction, and they do like to do their job, which could be infrastructure rehabilitation, water and drainage solutions, land development, general contracting, and dedicated maintenance and emergency repairs. Interested in working for such a fine outfit? GS Construction is always on the lookout for great workers. Find out more at gsconstruction.ca.
It all began in 2006.
Edmonton's premier live music and party venue was born.
Well, guess what? We're now legal age.
On the Rocks is turning 18.
Party with us September 20th.
As we celebrate our 18th birthday.
Happy birthday!
Enjoy Sound Station.
Live music from the Arcana King.
And a chance to win $500 cash.
Thank you for an amazing 18 years.
On the Rocks.
OTR's 18th birthday, September 20th.
On the Rocks.
Jasper Ave and 118th.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at cantork.com.
Elevate your home's curb appeal effortlessly with House Numbers Canada, locally owned and operated right here in Edmonton. Their state-of-the-art modern house numbers and address signs are the perfect solution for a quick and stylish upgrade. Multiple size and color options, stock items, custom designs, and the always popular LED illuminated numbers. Quality guaranteed or your money back. So what are you waiting for? Give your home the modern upgrade it deserves. Explore House Numbers Canada's exclusive collection at housenumberscanada.ca.
Booster Juice has a secret. It's a secret menu of secret smoothies you can only see on the Booster Rewards app. Oh, wait. Guess it's not a secret anymore. Visit any Booster Juice and ask for the strawberry dip, the berry bloom, the go mango, the raspberry rapture, or the ocean's tide. Made with blueberries, passion fruit, guava, and vanilla frozen yogurt. The secret's out. Tell anyone you want. Find the exclusive secret smoothie menu on the Booster Rewards app and sneak into a Booster Juice near you.
The Canada-wide clearance is on at Chevrolet. Get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2024 Silverado 1500 RST. Explore downtown hotspots with standard Chevrolet safety assist, including automatic emergency braking and HD surround vision camera. Or take on the great outdoors with an available 3-liter Duramax diesel engine and available in-vehicle trailering app. Oh, look, a cute chipmunk. Not so cute. Not so cute. Ask your Chevrolet dealer for details.
I couldn't ignore it. Everyone kept saying, "You look so tired."
Are you getting enough sleep, dear?
Hon, you look like you need some rest.
But I'm not tired. I guess I just look that way.
But you don't have to. I'm Dr. Vance Elliott, and I provide skin-refreshing treatments designed to give you a fresh and natural appearance. Don't worry, we won't drastically change how you look, but we will help you look as energetic as you feel. Book your consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
$2.24. Welcome back. Thursday afternoon. Woo! Getting closer. A week away from on ice for NHL training camps and preseason action will get going next weekend. Oilers will play on Sunday, host the Jets, and then split squad against Calgary on the Monday, the 23rd. One game in Edmonton, one game in Calgary, and we will rock and roll. Should be fun. Now, let's go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's, and the breakfast wrap are here. Sausage, bacon, and egg, and the chicken breakfast wrap and spicy egg and hash brown wrap. Try them all at McDonald's, including the newly renovated Coronation location, 111th Ave and 149th Street. It's all freshened up. Looks good. Your food will taste even better at McDonald's. As we are joined by Mike Morreale, of course, longtime beat reporter covering numerous teams in the NHL, and we're going to talk a little New Jersey Devils today with Mike. Mike, how you doing, my man?
What's going on, Jason? JG, glad to join the show on a Thursday afternoon. We are rocking out. I can't agree with you more. We're getting set for actually the prospect tournaments, right? This weekend, all over the place. We got 7 taking place this weekend all over North America, so that's going to be a great time. And then next week, let's get training camps underway, buddy. And then we're going to Prague, so I'm looking forward to that.
Dude, I have heard nothing but unbelliveable things. Have you ever been to Prague before?
This will be my first, Jay. This will be my first.
Jealous.
And let me tell you, like everyone has been telling me it's going to be fabulous, outrageous. I'm looking forward to going to the rink, hearing the fans. I was in Switzerland and Sweden when the Devils were over there a couple of years back, and it was just fantastic. A fantastic atmosphere, fantastic experience, food, drink, everything. So I'm looking forward to it.
The New Jersey Devils, they come in, and you know what? Last year was a disappointment. Everybody thought they were going to just kind of carry on from finally getting back into the playoffs like they did in 23. And obviously the injury to Hamilton and Hughes at times derailed them. They struggled with goaltending for a lot of the year. They have, on paper anyway, it looks like they've addressed that. Obviously, they bring in Markstrom, so we'll start from the back end and work your way out. When you look at Markstrom and Allen, do you think is it a 50-32? Is it a 55-27? What kind of split do you think we're going to see, assuming health isn't a factor?
Yeah, you know what, Jay? I think you're on the mark there. I think you're looking at maybe 50, 55 games, and then maybe Allen picking up. I thought Allen played really, really well when he came in last year for New Jersey, in the time spent, and obviously they were out of it by then. But I thought he played particularly well down the stretch. Obviously, that was, and as you mentioned at the top, it was their biggest acquisition. The thing they needed to do most with Tom Fitzgerald was high on his to-do list entering this offseason was to get a goaltender, and to get Jacob Markstrom in that trade with Calgary. It just kind of solidifies the position that was in flux last season. New Jersey used 5 goalies last year, a 3.43 goals per game, tied for 26th in the league, and they had a combined .896 save percentage. So obviously they needed someone between the pipes that was going to give them stability, someone that was going to, bring confidence in those young defensemen, and obviously a young team in general. But I thought Fitzgerald has done a good job here, obviously, and I think it will be a split where Markstrom you might see maybe 2/3 of the games, and then Allen maybe playing 25-30 games if that if everyone stays healthy. I see that kind of split working out.
So then we go to defense. You've got Pesce and Brendan Dillon, Jonas Siegenthaler, Dougie Hamilton, Luke Hughes, Simon Nemec. Like, it looks like their top 6 is pretty much set. I don't see there being any question mark there. I think, Siegenthaler is going to play with Hamilton, and then Pesce and Dillon are each going to be paired up with a young guy, probably Hughes with Pesce, and away they go. Luke Hughes, like, as good as Dougie Hamilton is, how long before Luke Hughes is the bottom, or is he already the number 1 defenseman there?
Yeah, I don't know if you heard too, Jay. Just this afternoon, Luke Hughes, the Devils came out and mentioned that he's going to miss 6 to 8 weeks to open the season with the with the left shoulder injury. So here we go again, and I'm seeing all the tweets on X about Luke. Here we go, the Devils. But it was some type of off-season training injury that he sustained to his left shoulder. So they expect him to be out 6 to 8 weeks. So now it's a matter of, who's going to make the cut, who's going to come in there. Obviously, when you look at your 6, you got Siegenthaler, as you mentioned, with Hamilton, that top pair. You're probably going to have Dillon. It would have been Hughes there alongside Pesce. Simon Nemitz is probably going to take that right-hand spot on that third pair. But who's going to be that left-handed shot? And I think, it might come down to two-way defenseman Santeri Hataka. It'll give him an opportunity to earn that spot, a good left-handed shot on that third pairing. 23 years old, Jay, but goes about 6'1", 191. I know he was a sixth-round pick, late-round pick by the Sharks. He was part of that huge trade with the Sharks to get Timo Meier over to Jersey. So, look, I saw him a bit last year. He played 12 games with the Devils. He had 14 hits. He had 12 blocks. Wasn't a defensive liability, proved effective in transition, can get the puck on net. He did a nice job keeping pucks in the zone from the blue line. So, we don't know what's going to happen. We just got this news this afternoon. So, but I would think Hataka, we'll see how he does in training camp. And I'm looking forward to seeing him there to see if that's what Sheldon Keefe wants to do there for that third pair. It'll be interesting.
Man, that's brutal news. I didn't even see that. So
yeah.
Tough for them. Now they do have a young guy, Nemec, and I know he's super young. So, in a few years, Mike, where do you project him? What type of defenseman do you see him as?
Yeah, I liked what I saw in Nemec. Now, obviously, I thought Kevin Dineen did a fabulous job with him in Utica, and this is what Kevin did. A couple years ago, after they drafted Shimon, he played in Utica, and Kevin, knowing that he was such an offensive type player, offensive type defenseman, he wanted to really, gear up his defensive side of the game in his own end, stick checking and knowing how to play along the boards and whatnot. And he had him play in the penalty kill. Instead of playing on the power play, he had Shimon play the penalty kill. And Shimon actually said when he was finally brought up to the Devils last season and, was given that role when Hamilton went out, he said that playing that PK really helped him, develop into a better overall defenseman in his own end. Not that he couldn't play it, when he was in Slovakia, but it just kind of helped him mature a little bit more, know what he needed to do physically in the corners. And obviously he's still young, still maturing, still growing, gaining that muscle that he needs to gain. But, I see a guy that's going to be a real solid two-way defenseman down the road here, Jay. I really like what I saw. I know the Devils drafted him really, really high, number 2 overall. So there's a lot of expectations of Shimon. And I think he kind of lived up to him last year and what he was able to accomplish and what he was able to gain as far as an understanding of the NHL, concepts and what Lindy Ruff was teaching and, down the stretch, did a nice job too when the injuries started piling up. So, and he was given more ice time. So, I really like what I see in Shimon and what he's been able to do. I see him as a solid number 1, 2, 3 defenseman for the Devils in the future. Has good size, and I think he's only going to get more and more physical. And when he learns how to play, that shutdown type game, look out because he has that offensive swagger to his game as well.
Mike Morreale joins us from NHL.com talking New Jersey Devils. Lots of moves in goal and on the back end. Up front, they're pretty solid. Now they bring in Stefan Noesen, who had an unreal year with Carolina last season. But Timo Meier, I watched him very closely in San Jose, and when he's on his game, like he is a power forward. He's a huge man, and it took him a while to get going in New Jersey. Last season, though, in the second half of the year, Mike, he seemed to get comfortable and kind of start playing like a guy who can be a real dominant player. What's your expectations for Meier this year? And did you talk to him at all about, just kind of finally finding some comfort in the second half last year?
Yeah, it's amazing. No one really knew the number of injuries that he did have at the end of last season, as far as with, the abdominals and the legs and what was going on with Timo Meier. And he played through pain last year, and you wouldn't recognize it because he, as you said, Jay, he really did have a real nice season overall for the Devils. So I would anticipate Timo. And the thing, that I go back to this too. When they acquired Timo, obviously the Devils were having one of the best seasons in their history, and they were able to beat the Rangers in the first round of the playoffs. And the thing that I remember most, and actually tweeting a few times during that series with the Rangers, was Timo Meier is built to play Eastern Conference hockey and teams and against teams like the Rangers, against teams like the Flyers and the Islanders, that physical, he loves to go to the middle of the net. It's so difficult to push him away. And that was one of the things that the Rangers had difficulty doing. And this is why he's going to be such an important piece when healthy. I mean, he's got a wicked shot. We all know that coming down wing. As far as his overall play and his ability to be that two-way type player, we've seen that as well. And that was something Lindy Ruff wanted to see in him last year. He was able to get that accomplished by midseason when he started picking up the pace and putting the pucks in the net. And he was going to the net. He was doing what, I think all Devils fans expected of him when he came over from the Sharks in the big trade. So I expect a healthy Timo Meier is going to go a long way in helping the Devils not only qualify for the playoffs, but make that push to the Stanley Cup.
Mike, Jack Hughes, when healthy, dynamic player. Yeah, unfortunately, he's dealt with some injuries at all, and sometimes it's bad luck. Other times you just wonder, smaller guy. Is this going to be a challenge for him to move past? And he's still pretty young, obviously. And does he just need to get a little bit more man strength and stronger? And so hopefully the injuries are in the past.
Yeah, kind of amazing, right, Jay? It's still at when he was drafted in 2019 to be the first player from the National Team Development Program to go straight to the NHL. Just a difficult thing to do, and particularly at his size. They had him listed at 5'10". He could have been 5'9", 5'9 and a half. But sidelined twice last season, as you said, totaling 16 games. He had to get shoulder surgery at the end of the season there and missed the final 4 games. So, when he is on his game and healthy and doing the things that he does on the ice, he really reminds me so much of Patrick Kane out there. And you know what, Jay? That's what he's going to have to do. When you watch Patrick Kane on the ice, slipping defenders deep in the own zone, keeping away from hits, stick handling, and a lot of give and goes. Hughes got to understand, and coaches have been telling him this. Don't be afraid to pass the puck earlier than you think you might want to, because then you get that puck right back heading into the zone. And I think we'll see a lot more of that. I think Jack really improved his shot over the past season and a half. It's something that he's worked on. You see it on the power play. He's got a big blast from the circle. And they set him up. They tee him up on PP1. So, the sky's the limit for Jack Hughes. And if healthy, Jay, I really think he'll be in the running for the Hart Trophy this year, because we all know, and you said at the top, that this is a team that's not only going to compete for playoff participation, but they're going for the Cup this year with the lineup and roster that they have. And Jack Hughes has to play a big part of that. And I see a lot of goals. I see a lot of points. And this is a year under Sheldon Keefe where he's going to be held accountable for everything he does on the ice. So that's also going to be something that's going to be interesting to watch and see how Jack plays that two-way game, but also get, really establish himself as an offensive force, an elite force in this league.
Micah, if you look at it for all of our fantasy players, everybody's healthy. Who are Hughes's wingers? And then what's the first unit power play going to look like?
I really think that when you're looking at what Hughes might be looking at, I think it could be an Andre Palat on his left side, a Dawson Mercer on the right. I think, you look at Nico Hischier might play with that Timo Meier, since there's that familiarity with each other. Jesper Bratt might be playing on that line. I think Mercer and Bratt will probably, on the right side, will probably switch between Hughes and Hischier. So, personally, I think Bratt's going to have a sensational, another great season. Obviously, Mercer has to get signed here as an RFA, so we'll see what happens with him. But I don't expect that to be an issue. I would expect, Andre Palat as a player they brought in as a leader, but not only a leader in the locker room, but a leader on the ice, and what he needs to do to help these young players. And I think we'll see a little bit of a nice season for Palat as well, particularly since we're starting off in Prague. So Andre and I spoke to him about it, is pretty psyched about what's going to happen there. But I think, Jay, Hughes maybe to open with Palat and Mercer. I think Hischier will see with Meier and Bratt. And then Eric Holla has that number 3C, and he'll probably be with Tatar and Stefan Nason. So as far as centers goes, I'm still a little suspect of the depth here. I know we got Heischer and Hughes, which is fabulous. You got Haller and Curtis Lazar as 3-4. So we'll see how that holds up. Obviously the first quarter of the season, it may work, but come when you're playing those 2-3 games in a week, 5-day span, we'll see how it goes. But the center depth is something that I'll be watching closely. But overall, I think this is a team that should compete not only for that playoff spot, but for a cup.
One last one on Mercer. What do you think the number is going to come in at? And obviously, both sides, I think, want to get it done. How close are they?
Yeah, Mercer being a young player, some of these young players like to maybe be in that 6-year range. I think maybe the Devils could be looking at a 4-year to see what he can do over that 4-year span. But we'll see. I think personally, Jay, I think Mercer has probably earned Seth Jarvis type money and what he has shown the Devils over the past few years as a center. He's such a versatile player. Can play the power play, can play the PK. They're both young players, Seth Jarvis and Carolina, and they kind of do are very similar in how they approach the game and how they work down low and in the offensive zone. So Mercer's that type of guy that is so valuable to the Devils. They got him late in the first round, which was pretty much a steal for the Devils when they did. But yeah, I would expect, I think you're looking at maybe a contract in the 4 to 6 year range for Mercer.
Great stuff, Mike. We appreciate it, man. If I don't talk to you before Prague, have a great trip.
Thanks a lot, Jay. Have a great evening, man.
You betcha. There's Mike Morreale from NHL.com. The Devils. So Luke Hughes, I didn't even see that, but Luke Hughes out 6 to 8 weeks with a shoulder injury that occurred in off-season training. So not good for him. Quick break. We'll come back. We're going to talk to a head coach next on the Jason Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. It's the Daily Grand. You can win $1,000 a day for 20 years. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca.
Rule number 62. Never miss a free pancake breakfast. It's unheard of and, frankly, a little upsetting. Summer in Alberta has its own set of rules. And if you're looking to add a little extra fun, Play Alberta has it all. Use promo code SUMMER to snag a $50 casino bonus for casino, instants, and live dealer with your next deposit. Get ready for promotions throughout the summer to help you make the most of those sunny Alberta days. Because we all know they don't last long enough. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
You'll hear it around town. It's GMC's Canada-wide clearance. But at Wolf GMC Buick, we're putting our own spin on it. Not only do we have over 200 GMCs available, we also want you to upgrade your ride with 0% financing up to 72 months on the 2024 GMC Sierra Elevation. Oh, and how about at least $10,000 cash back in your pocket on in-stock heavy-duty trucks? Yep, it's Canada-wide clearance, and you'll only get these deals at Wolf GMC Buick, corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road, just seconds from the Anthony Henday.
Often when I meet people at a party or I'm hanging out at my favorite restaurants, I'll introduce myself and they'll say, "Oh, you're Grant Fedoruk from Leading Edge Physio. What can I do about this sore knee? It's been bugging me for months." First, I was thinking, when I'm out like this, I should just tweet my location so people know where to come for a consultation. But then I thought, I'm spending all this money on advertising Leading Edge. Maybe you could come by one of our clinics. That's where we have the technology and really smart physiotherapists who can give you all the advice and treatment you need. Have your people call my people. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Introducing the Female Super League. Female hockey is on the rise with more women playing the game than ever. Join us as we pave the way for the future of women's hockey. The FSL is more than a game. It's a movement and an experience for the motivated female athlete. Teams will compete in a showcase-style format featuring consistent interprovincial competition. Come be part of the journey as the 2024-25 season unveils a 12U division, as well as the launch of a groundbreaking progressive body-checking 14U division. For more information, visit FemaleSuperLeague.com.
Ready to tackle your toughest tasks? Edmonton Kubota has you covered with the all-new M8 Series tractor. With powerful 181 and 201 horsepower engines, Cummins power, and loader readiness, it's built to handle any challenge. And now, for a limited time, get a free 4-year extended warranty when you drive off with an M8 Series tractor. Don't miss out on this unbeatable offer. Visit Edmonton Kubota today and power up your productivity. Edmonton Kubota, where power meets performance.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Jump up! Get it!
.245. Welcome back, Jason Gregor. Connor Halley with you, rolling through a lovely Thursday afternoon. It's time to go in the community, brought to you by Action Electrical. And they are involved heavily in your community, do a ton of donations for various charities around Edmonton and area. Big donations. Gave away an entire solar system last year. They love giving back and helping out and growing in the community. ActionElectrical.net. And we are joined. We're going to talk a little football as we're joined by the head coach of a team that is currently the 7th ranked team in the country. They've won 3 in a row and just keep moving up the rankings, fresh off a 33-6 victory in Winnipeg. They will go to Calgary this Sunday to take on the Colts and look to extend their winning streak to 4 in a row as the Huskies are rolling. And Jeff Tolbert joins us. Jeff, welcome back to the show, my man. How you doing?
Oh, thank you for having me back on. I'm doing just fine.
It's always nice when your team's winning. I would assume it's always easier to come to practice. Everybody's excited. Coaches always tell me when the team's winning, sometimes it's easier to practice because, the players are almost more attentive to being challenged and wanting to learn new stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, winning cures a lot of problems, and we've been fortunate to win 3 in a row, and we're looking to make it 4, and just getting down to things and trying to take care of our business as best we can.
So when you look at the, you lost the opener to the Hilltops, but you beat Calgary, the Wildcats, and the Rifles since, and you're averaging in those games I think it's 28 points a game. And the last 2 games, though, you've only allowed 14 total points. So how much of this is on your defense? How much is it on your offense, or is it a combination of both?
Well, it's a combination of both. We, in the first game, had the misfortune of losing our starting quarterback. Jackson Arnett went down with an ankle injury, and that played a lot into, how things were structured from there. But our defense has been fairly solid throughout. We're pretty strong overall against the run, and that's been really helping us, keep the point totals down and keep us in games while the offense progresses.
When you, as a coach, Jeff, for you now, obviously there's always in junior football, there's some turnover for sure, but you like to have a group, maybe you get some 4th and 5th year guys, and that becomes kind of the core of your team. And, obviously you want your 3rd year guys too to be big, but kind of, if you look at your team, were you expecting to be one of the more dominant teams in the PFC this year based on kind of the growth of your team the last few years?
Well, yeah. I mean, we try to structure our roster such that, we're going to be fairly balanced throughout the different classes. And, there's always surprises that happen and things like that. And you lose a few guys here and there just to natural attrition. And, sometimes 22-year-olds just want to grow up and, start adulting. It's kind of thing where, we intentionally take a look at and are very, mindful of, who's in what year and taking a look at just the overall structure of things. And then, of course, we're trying to bring in the best recruits that we possibly can. And sometimes, the young guys pass the older guys, and then we've got, a bit of a conundrum, but, it's intentional what we do when we structure the roster so that we're not constantly, being a young team or not having to rely on first-year guys out of high school. That said, first-year guys out of high school sometimes, like I said before, are a little bit better than what we have. So, it's all in the mix, and it's all a part of the fun of being a junior football coach.
Jeff, one of the changes this year a little bit outside your control, of course, is where you play your games. Clark Field is going under a huge renovation. There's going to be some shiny new turf there next season. But you're playing at the JP Bowl. You've only played one game there. You're 1-0. But what how does that impact much about your team? And do you notice a significant difference at all playing there?
Well, JP Bowl's been our home now for, I believe, 4 years. So
really,
we've been, yeah. It as soon as it was renovated, we moved there. We had lost Clark Stadium, which is a shame because it's such a great, right in the heart of the city, place to play. And we lost that to FC Edmonton, and basically,
I thought when they left, you guys didn't get it back.
No, they didn't. We didn't, not right away. But there was always still the possibility of them coming back, as I understood was the reasoning. But we've been at JP Bowl for quite some time, and it's an awesome place to play as well. It's in the West End, but it's not. It's still in the heart of the city, and the bowl itself is a really awesome kind of feature. The press box, now that it's been renovated, is second to none in the league, and the seating is really good, and the turf is brand new as well. So it's a very comfortable place to play, and we love being there.
You mentioned recruiting, and of course, you're the only market that has two teams in junior football: the Wildcats and the Huskies, and there's a pretty strong rival. Some of the old alumni, man, they can't stand the other side. It's quite comical when I talk to former Wildcats and Huskies. But I know you try to work together, but there's the competition factor. How have you found the recruiting aspect and how challenging it is to, because it does seem, one team's a little bit better than the other one, and that might influence recruiting for a while, and then it switches over back and forth. Like, it'd be ideal to see the Huskies and Wildcats both at like the top of the division at the same time. And there's been a few years like that, but it seems that it's hard for both to be good consistently at the same time. Is it just because of the recruiting?
Well, that does play into it for sure. The Edmonton football community is second to none in the country. The high school coaches at this level do such a fantastic job, and there is a ton of very good football players right here at home. So that is working in our favor. But that said, it is like everybody knows that, and everybody comes here to recruit. It's not just the Wildcats and the Huskies, but it's the teams in the BCFC. And of course, we also compete for recruits against youth sports teams. And, the Dinos, the Bears are going to be recruiting the same pool of players that we are. The difference there is that, the youth sports teams can also, recruit province wide. We, if there's a great player in Calgary, we can't go recruit him without him getting released. So, right. We are Red Deer North, and we share Red Deer North with the Edmonton Wildcats. But teams from the BCFC can come into our backyard and recruit as well. And it's
but you can't,
and they do. They very much do.
Can you recruit from BC in return?
We can, but it's the kind of deal where there's a reason they're coming to the greater northern area here. It's because, the football in this area is incredibly rich, and our high school coaches at this level do a fantastic job, and the players are really well developed here. And so, it's not that they're exceptionally poor all the way else, but we're not made of money, and we don't have a recruiting budget that allows us to fly in and travel and do all that kind of stuff to go and get the kid from BC necessarily that we would want to target or something like that. But so our roots are at home here. We have to recruit our territory as best we can, and then we compete. We compete with the other team in our division, the Wildcats, and and then, like I mentioned, BC is set up shop in northern Alberta as well.
Jeff Tolbert, head coach of the 3-1 Edmonton Huskies, joins us. Jeff, for a few years, the junior and the Bears didn't necessarily have the best. They're kind of competing, and then it kind of got better where you'd look and say, hey, you know what? If this guy's not going to play here for us, even though he's going to university, let's get him to the Wildcats or the Huskies just because they got to play. Right. How has that relationship gone with the Bears to look to say, okay, what's best, because some guys aren't scholars, they're good football players, but they're not going to go to the U of A, right? That's going to happen, right? They go to Nate or other places, which is fine. But how's the relationship of, not necessarily hoarding guys so they don't play and just, having open lines of communication with Chris Morris to ensure that, hey, if your team's pretty good and you don't, maybe you got too many D linemen or O linemen, send him to us and he can play here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that has been, a source of conflict in the past, but Chris and I have a great relationship, and, we talk on a fairly regular basis. Hey, what do you need? What can we provide you? We know that any of our players that are in school are going to get recruited by the U of A. We just know that, and they will be, leaving us hopefully, hopefully in their later stages for us. But even if that happens in the early stages, we view that as a win. We've helped develop a football player that goes on to bigger and better things. So our relationship with the U of A is good. They are very generous with us in terms of saying, hey, here's a guy that could help you. Why don't you give him a call? And so, yeah, it's been fantastic working with Chris. He and his program is right there, at the top programs in the country. And so, the players that he brings in are second to none. And yeah, anytime we get a player to come to us from the U of A, it's usually a huge bonus for us.
Well, Jeff, continued success. You're into to Calgary this weekend, then you'll finish up with 3 home games in a row after that. So a chance to really finish strong and set yourself up for hopefully a long playoff run.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the plan. So thank you for having us on, man.
You betcha. That's Jeff Tolbert, head coach of the 3-1 Huskies. They're up to now 7th ranked in junior football in the country. And of course into second place in the PFC behind the team that is always good, the Saskatoon Hilltops. But you think about it from a regional area and just promoting, like Saskatchewan's a great province when it comes to football. Like, they develop it at all grassroots levels. It's great. The high school football in Edmonton and area, though, has made huge strides. And I love what Jeff said. The high school coaches today are just so much better than in the past across the board, right? I should say, not all of them are better. There's lots of good coaches for a long time, but there's more good coaches is probably the better and more accurate way to say it. And that's just allowing more good quality players to come out of the Edmonton area, to move on to junior, move on to the Bears, and then ultimately to the CFL, etc., and maybe even the NFL. So it's a great thing to see the growth of football. With, like, to me, for Clark Park, I still think it's the best place for the junior teams. Like, the Wildcats are playing in Sherwood Park, right at Emerald Hills. There's no talk of Edmonton getting a soccer team right away. None. Not anybody I've talked to, I haven't heard anything. So when they get the new turf in there, now, unless the new turf is going in because they know it's coming, well, that's maybe a different story. But even then, if you're going to have a soccer team again, you need better seats so you can have better attendance. That's just a fact. So I'll be curious to see what happens when they, I would like to believe they're not just putting in new turf and then not really going to have a main tenant. Doesn't make any sense. Or it should make little sense, would be a better way to say it. 2:58. Get to the con man. Coming up later on, Christine Sinclair, the all-time leader in international goals in women's soccer. She, of course, is one of only 3 players. She's with Marta and Cristiano Ronaldo to score in 5 different World Cups. She's among the GOATs in her sport. She will talk to us at 4:20 today, talk a little bit about her career and also her, I think, love of baseball, if my research is correct. We'll find that. We'll get to the truth on that, because some things you read online aren't always true. I know, shocking. But so I want to get to the root of that. But first, we'll get to the Con Man Sports 1440 update, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. You can bundle up AC and a furnace right now. No interest, no payments for a year at legacyheating.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update. Week 2 in the NFL kicks off tonight as the Miami Dolphins hosting the Buffalo Bills. That gets going at 6:15. Fins will be at the running back Raheem Mostert. Well, it looks like Devon Achane will be able to play through the ankle injury. The New Jersey Devils will start this upcoming season without Luke Hughes, the team announcing he'll be out 6 to 8 weeks after suffering a left shoulder injury during offseason training. And the Calgary Flames signing Jacob Pelche to a 1-year, 2-way contract with $800,000. The former first-round pick appeared in 13 games last season in Calgary with 1 goal and 2 assists. Major League Baseball, lighter day. We got 3 finals already. Rockies knocked off the Tigers 4-2. Cards over the Reds 6-1, and the Astros doubled up the Athletics 6-3. Later on, you got the Nats and Marlins. The Red Sox take on the Yankees. Guardians and Rays. Rangers travel to Seattle, and the Giants hosting the Brewers. One game in the WNBA tonight at 6 o'clock. The Wings hosting the New York Liberty. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Colin Livingston of Cantor Race Report, and we'll preview Thursday Night Football with Theo Dorsey of ESPN. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Hey, it's Kevin Carius. We're heading into fall, but the deals are hot as ever at St. Albert Dodge. Like this, a 2024 Dodge Compass Altitude 4x4, discounted from $48,860 to $39,900. We're talking cool, black 18-inch aluminum wheels, a 10.1-inch touch screen display, Apple CarPlay, backup camera, all the bells and whistles. Good choice of colors, too. But supplies are limited. Get yours before they're gone. Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
In 100 meters, turn right. Actually, no. Turn left. There's some awesome new breakfast wraps at McDonald's.
Really?
Yeah. There's the sausage, bacon, and egg, a crispy seasoned chicken one. A spicy and egg, worth the detour.
They sound amazing.
Bet they taste amazing, too. Wish I had a mouth. Take your morning into a delicious new direction with McDonald's new breakfast wraps. Add a small premium roast coffee for $1 plus tax at participating McDonald's restaurants. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
It's the final week of the Brick's famous tent sale, and everything must go. Take up to 70% off clearance items in the tent and store, and find amazing deals in every other department before it's too late. Take up to $1,400
Please enjoy
off
your day.
sectionals, up to 25% off bedroom and dining furniture, and up to 50% off mattresses. Hurry in while the tents are still up and the prices are down. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Jonathan and Murray are friends.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy. Except when they talk about which stadium is more fun in the summer.
Dude, Commonwealth has Elks Fan Park. Tailgating at its finest.
But it can't compare to the old ballpark in the River Valley. Riverhawks games are electric.
But ask them who makes the best beef jerky in Alberta, and they'll tell you.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky.
It's the only thing everyone can agree on. So pick some up for your summer pregame snack.
Wilhauk beef jerky, because you don't win friends with salad.
What's cracking at Cattail Crossing? Every Friday after 4 p.m., it's 9 and Dine Fridays. Includes golf for 2 with a power cart at Cattail Crossing and a $50 food voucher at Out of Bounds Restaurant. Only $119.99. Tea times can be booked at cattailcrossing.ca.
Move Water is your one-stop shop for all things water. From freshwater to wastewater, we've got the pumps and solutions to keep your water moving where it matters most.
Move Water, your water solution experts.
Visit movewater.ca today.
When it comes to your health, trust Dr. Bryce Henderson for expert care in hip and knee replacements. With years of experience and advanced techniques, Dr. Henderson helps you regain your mobility and quality of life.
Your health is my priority. Let's get you back to doing what you love.
Put your health in the hands of a trusted expert. Book your consultation with Dr. Henderson today. Visit vitalsurgicalspecialist.ca or call 587-391-7864.
The Canada-wide clearance is on at Chevrolet. Get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2024 Silverado 1500 RST. Explore downtown hotspots with standard Chevrolet safety assist, including automatic emergency braking and HD surround vision camera. Or take on the great outdoors with an available 3-liter Duramax diesel engine and available in-vehicle trailering app. Oh, look, a cute chipmunk. Not so cute. Not so cute. Ask your Chevrolet dealer for details.
Hi, Larry Ricci from Vision RV. I hope you're able to get out and travel this summer. Wherever the highway took you, we'd love to hear about it. In fact, why not bring in your RV for winterizing and show us those holiday selfies? We offer some very affordable and thorough winterizing packages to ensure your investment is protected. Or maybe you're thinking of upgrading for next season. We have the selection you're after, and you'll receive top dollar for your trade. Vision RV, just south of the Yellowhead on Highway 60.
1, 2, 3, pass around because you love.
Connor Halley back with you on a lovely Thursday afternoon. Thursday night football has the Bills and the Dolphins going at it tonight. We'll see if the Dolphins can run the ball. Might be a pretty pass-happy game for them. Declan Kruger telling us he's thinking it's a high-scoring game. So the D-man... well, him and the con man, it might be a tough competition as who follows football more across the board. But they spent a lot of hours, so the D-man was pretty confident on I think he had like 58 total points, 30 to 28, I think was his prediction for that. So, well, we'll see. Should be good.
I'm with him. I'm thinking points too.
Well, dude, you know me. You know me. If I was ever going to go to playalberta.ca, it would be on the... it would be the over. Like, I'm sure at one point in my life I will try and underpick. I just feel, I don't know. And hey, trust me, I'm not a big gambler, so I don't do it very often. I just like to dabble every now and then at, $20 here or there, a little bit of fun. But, we do our daily one here on the show and we have fun with it. But I would, it would take me like something, like, I don't know, like going back in time to when the New Jersey Devils of the 90s were in the league again. I'd be like, okay, I'm taking the under. Like, these guys are brutal. Or even when the Ravens used to play, like there's a few, like, I guess maybe if the Giants played Carolina, I might take the under. That could be a game. I would never watch the game because it would be horrific, but that might be an under possibility, Cons.
Could be set at 20 points. And I'd still consider the under.
Oh, yeah.
Although you might get some defensive scores.
Yeah. So
wait till December. Wait for the weather to become a factor. Then I'm okay with going the under.
Yeah. Hey, guys, lines are relatively low for offensive team. If you go over, you're cheering for both teams. It's way better for Mitchell. Yeah, I totally agree. Right? I'm watching the game cheering for nothing to happen. It's the worst. I can't do it. But I'm like, so I guess if I could do it, I just wouldn't watch the game, right? And be like, okay, I took the under, so that means I'm not watching, because it'd be like, I think this game's going to be it's being boring. So we'll see how it goes. Now, I did get confirmation, so I want to be accurate. This is unique, actually, for those of you who like to go and watch training camp when it's open. So the Oilers training camp is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday they play a preseason game. Now, of course, there's two practices on Sunday. There's the morning skate for the players who will play that night against Winnipeg, and then there's a practice after for those who aren't playing. That's fan day. So it's actually Sunday the 22nd for those of you. So put in your calendar if that's something that intrigues you. You want to take your kids, you want to take yourself. Now, you do need to get tickets for it. So you can go to Orders, Edmonton Order, right? What is it? Orders.nhl.com now, I think is the proper website for it. And away you go. So it'll actually be on Sunday, the 22nd. Little two practice one and a game day all mixed in. So that's trying to think of that. I don't recall that. Now, again, I'm not, there's a lot of stuff I remember, because it's regular season and it matters. But I don't remember if they did that on a game day in the preseason last year. I'm going to guess no, because rarely do they ever play preseason games on the first Sunday, right? It used to be you would have training medicals on Thursday, you're on the ice Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then you have your first preseason game on the Monday. That's usually how it's been. So, hey, you know what? Not a bad idea. There's more people on the weekends who have free time who can get out there. So plan ahead if you're somebody who likes to want to go down and watch the players. All right. So there you have it. There's I'm pretty sure I'm looking online now. There's an autograph session as well. Oh, they're kind of putting everything into one cons. So autographs, a little bit of a locker room sale as I'm reading here. So not bad. Not bad at all. So there you have it. Hey guys, I have to say the locker room sale is one of my favorite. Got some sick deals from there, from Peter. Well, yeah, you get what? Game use sticks and gloves and stuff like that. And I think for people who are collectors, I could see how that would be, just kind of a cool thing. Right? So I'm curious though, if you buy it now for the weekend warriors, for the men's leaguers, when you buy the stick, do you use it? I would think so, no? Maybe not. Like maybe you keep a Hyman game use stick. You just want to put it up in your fan cave. But I wonder how many people actually buy the sticks to use them.
It's got to depend, right? Like which player you're getting.
Well, and again, you got to get a player whose curve is somewhat similar to yours that you use.
Get the DRNA stick, you got to cut it down.
Well,
in all likelihood.
Obviously. Well, you probably got to cut down a lot of the sticks.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? I would think. Oh. Look at like the Brando man. Like he'd have to cut down every player's stick on the team. Hey, fellas, I have a few Brandon Davidson sticks. They easily were the best sticks I ever used from the Ulsterman. Well, there you go. And he goes, and I was a center. Hey, guys, at that locker room sale, you can get game used Oil King sticks, brand new condition for a quarter of the price. They're new. There you go. So some smart purchasers. Get in. Probably got to get in quick, I would think. There's a lot of people that know about the deal. Smart. Boys, I bought a Lander and a Yakupov stick as I didn't have to cut them. Yak's Warrior stick was awesome from Nick M. Oh, yeah. Now, when you say it was awesome in the sense that like you could shoot better, stick handle better, or was it just psychological that you felt you could shoot better because you were using an NHLer stick? Why not? Hey, guys, our goalie for Beer League team bought all the gear from the locker room sale and used it, but he was still brutal. From the Moonwatch. Yeah. Yeah, but he looked good doing it. Right? Probably felt good. He's like, look at me, I'm out here. Whose gear are you using? Now, goalie gear, I would think. Now, I don't know. I look at like shin pads, but I would assume goalie pads, like you got to have the right fit. Right? They got to be the exact right. Like there's different lengths and inches and everything. So you know what? You would have to be, I would think, fairly similar size to the goalies of the stuff you're buying, would you not? Otherwise, it would be brutal. I would think. So. Hey, guys, the Surrey stick at the locker room sale was the most expensive because apparently they were custom made to withstand this clapper from Rockford. Buddy, that guy had an absolute cannon. I know that I remember some people like, oh, a heavy shot. And I always found it funny that guys online who have never been on the ice were like, there's no difference. Heavy shot, no difference. I remember, that was a few times, Cons, when Struddy would pull out the chip character and he would get fired up. He's like, you go stand in front of Sheldon Surrey's shot that says it's 102 miles an hour, and then go stand in front of Curtis Foster's shot that also says it's 102 miles an hour. And I'm telling you, they feel different. His words, not mine. I'm never on the ice for it. But I understand it. Especially because Thure's shot came off his stick quicker and harder, and so might get up to the velocity quicker, hence heavier shot. You're going to feel it more, right? Especially if you're a little bit closer to him. So, hey, boys, true story. I bought one of Strutty's sticks and it went -5 in my next beer league game. So the stick you bought, Stu, was it the stick that he used when Tom Gilbert almost ruined his career in New York? Remember? Because that's when he went -5. And then he was, and he went -5. Remember when Tom Gilbert, like there's few things will get Strutty fired up. But that when Tom Gilbert served the pizza right up, they were down. I don't even know what the score was at one point. It was like 5-1 or 6-1. And then he puts that pizza right up the middle onto Marian Gabourik's stick. And Gaborik is just like a free pass and it's in the back of the net. And Strutty's just like, what? And he skates off the ice. Another dash, nothing to do with it. And he always joked about how Tom Gilbert tried to single-handedly end his career. And so then Tom Rennie healthy scratch Strutty for a month straight after that game. Now, it was near the end of his career. You know, he's an older guy. The team wasn't very good, but he was hot. Hot. Hey, guys, when Strutty was -5, is that also the game where Avery suckered Schmid? Ooh. That's a good question. I have to go back and look at the game sheet for that one. We'll do some research in the break. Oof. Might have to ask Schmieder about that one. You know what Schmieder's actually talked about? He goes, I kind of made a mistake. You don't look away from a rat, right? You could never trust. You'd never trust a rat to not be a rat. Is basically what you learn from that. Hey guys, I know a dum-dum who used a Gretzky Northland stick from his first home game as an Oiler in the WHA and then broke it playing road hockey. Yeah, well, hey, you know what? I can get in the dum-dum line because I had a few Gretzky rookie cards that went in the spokes of my tires in the 80s because I thought they sounded awesome, and they did, by the way. Nowadays, kids, I've seen them, you put a water bottle cons and you kind of jam it in the back frame on the tire, and it sounds unreal. Like that sounds like you got some real good power on your bike. You ever seen that?
You're hitting the spokes or tire?
No, on the top of it. So you know how you have
crunch
the frame?
it over?
Yeah, you crunch
it.
It goes on the top of the tire.
Yeah,
between
we did
the frame. Oh, I'd never seen that before. My neighbor kid did it, and I was just like, okay. Then my son put one on. He was just like, he thought he was like 7 years old and just thought this is the greatest invention ever. So, and as a dad, I was like, I'd never seen that one. That was pretty cool. So I liked it. Hey, guys, my son's a goalie. Says the heavier shots spin more rubber smell on the equipment from Colin. Well, yeah, could see that. There's a difference, man. There is no question. There is a difference. (833-401-1440). Hey, boys, my brother bought a pair of pro skates that were used. Unreal deal. From Rob. Now, did he heat him up again to make him fit to his feet? That's the thing that's so different about the skates now. Like, it's stunning. You put them in the oven, right? You go there, you put them in the oven, then you try the skates on. And like, I remember you used to have to break in a pair of skates, and it was like the first few skates weren't great. Sometimes you get a blister. None of that now. Like, it's amazing. Like, I talked to NHL guys like, oh yeah, I don't even have to like break my skates in now. It's just different time. So. Good. When we return, we'll got lots of you have done a lot of shopping. I'm hearing at these sales for the Oilers and the Oil Kings. So nice. When we come back, injuries, off-field stories, lots to discuss heading into the Thursday nighter, and two teams early in the year, both with lofty aspirations, and a quarterback who might have a little bit more pressure on. Find out next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your supplier of maximum comfort, bringing you the cool AC you need. You just have to
call Legacy. Call Legacy.
For comfort at night when the hot air suffocates you.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
For comfort in your wallet with no payments or interest for 1 year.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
You deserve comfort. Cool off today with AC from Legacy Heating and Cooling. A premier hockey solution with a clear path for long-term development is proud to be entering its 8th season of independent borderless hockey, featuring provincial and cross-province competition with showcase-style regular season gameplay and a strong commitment to individual skill development. It's an attractive option for those seeking family life balance. The Hockey Super League offers opportunities for both male and female athletes born between 2012 and 2017. Visit hockeysuperleague.com for more information.
Wow, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Ain't it beautiful? The inventory is unprecedented. Volvo Cars Edmonton is proud to boast an amazing selection of in-stock Volvo XC40s, 60s, and 90s. Visit Volvo Cars Edmonton today and experience the exemplary service you've come to expect and the affordable luxury only found with Volvo Cars Edmonton, Canada's only 12-time Volvo Excellence Award winners. Experience the difference.
Volvo of Edmonton.
Some things just work together. Sticks and pucks, cleats and AstroTurf. Your love for the game and Papa John's passion for better ingredients. Better pizza. Nothing pairs with the game like Papa John's. Crafted with signature sauce, toppings, and original fresh dough. They're the champion of pizza. And now you're the champion of winning deals. Just order at papajohns.ca. Use promo code SPORTS20 and score 20% off any regular menu price order. Better ingredients. Better pizza. Papa John's. That's SPORTS20.
Rule number 41. Never challenge a goose in the Bow Valley. They run this town and they know it. Summer in Alberta has its own set of rules. And if you're looking to add a little extra fun, Play Alberta has it all. Use promo code SUMMER to snag a $50 casino bonus for casino, instants, and live dealer with your next deposit. Get ready for promotions throughout the summer to help you make the most of those sunny Alberta days. Because we all know they don't last long enough. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
So you've decided you want to start hiking. Nobody would say, I'll just wear my kids' flip-flops until I have more experience. The first thing you do is buy the right shoe size and style to fit you. Same with golf. You can't just buy clubs off the rack. They won't be the right size or style for you. Only Fitted Golf works with you to identify your swing style and then matches your clubs exactly to that swing. Check out our Instagram and YouTube channel to see the success others have with clubs fit to their swing. Fitted Golf, where we continue to prove it's your clubs.
Are you afraid of losing your car or home due to debt? Don't let fear or shame hold you back from seeking help. Bankruptcy is not the only option. A consumer proposal can reduce your monthly payments, lower your overall debt, and allow you to keep your assets. My name is Parveen Middleton. I'm a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. I'm here to help you tackle your debt. Take the first step towards regaining control of your finances. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to learn more.
Buy now, win more with Stollery Children's Hospital Foundation Mighty Millions Lottery. Score big with the Oilers bonus prize, lower bowl season seats, and $50,000 cash. Take off with the Fiji and Maserati early bird prize, a 7-night vacation to Fiji and a Maserati. Or take $175,000 cash and be in to win the $2.5 million grand prize. Be mighty and support Stollery Kids. Buy now at MightyMillionsLottery.com.
Before every big interview, every big presentation, every big moment, I've always looked in the mirror and put on my game face. But lately, my eyes look tired, my brow looks old, and I'm starting to think it's game over.
Stop thinking and start seeing me, Dr. Vance Elliott, for skin refreshing treatments designed to give you a fresh and natural appearance.
He didn't make me look weird. No, he gave me back my game face.
Book your consultation today at drvancelliot.com.
Mr. 305, Flow Rider and Lunch Money. 3 Miami boys, you know what time it is. Give me the green.
$325. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube and Facebook. Remind you that this weekend you can take your used bicycles or even ones that don't work anymore and drop them off at any Sports Central location or Fountain Tire. Just go to sports1440.ca and you'll see all the locations there. And you can donate your bikes. The goal is to get 1,000 of them by the end of the month. And they're open for donations every Saturday from 10 a.m. until 3. So check it out, and you're going to get a kid on a bike. Just think about how much fun and how much freedom you had when you had a bike as a kid. Oh, and I still remember my bikes, man. I remember my first one was a blue, kind of a BMX. It wasn't a BMX bike, but I still remember the first time I rode it at the farm down our driveway with gravel. Farm kids are tough, man. You have to learn to ride on gravel. Not great. Had jumped off, or not jumped off, but rode off a few times right into all the trees that line up. So do that a few times, you learn quick how to balance. So. And then graduated, had a few Kuwaharas. Oh, black and yellow one. Got stolen though, but I found it 6 months later. Idiot who stole it was went to the outdoor pool and I saw it, the bike rack. Called the cops, got my bike back. If I look at highlights of my life, Cons, that one's probably top 5. Right? Probably right after the birth of my son, getting married. That would be next.
I thought you might just steal it back. You brought in the authorities.
Yeah, well, exactly. So, yeah, wow, it was locked up. I couldn't take it because otherwise I would have. But I wanted the cops, so it was great. Anyway, let's talk a little football. We get to the football report brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. No overtime charges. That's how you build a legacy. Doesn't matter what time of the day. They'll fix it, get it back running. No OT charges. LegacyHeating.ca. From ESPN West Palm to talk a little Thursday nighter. Theo Dorsey joins us. Theo, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I want to hear more about when you got your bike back. I want to know if you stood with the cops. Did you confront the folks that stole the bike? Like, I'm intrigued.
Oh, Theo, I'll tell you, man. It was like, I was 12. I was 12 years old because I remember I had to pay. I paid for that bike with my own cash from my my paper route. So, when you pay for something yourself, I think I bought that bike for like $90, which back then was, a lot. And so I was so distraught when it got stolen. And man, I just kept looking for it. And when I found it and I saw it at the pool that day, cop shop was literally a block away. So I wheeled over there, came back. I knew I had a sticker. I knew it was my bike. And I just waited. And they're like, wow. I said, no, we're waiting. And then when the kid came out, I'm not a big fighter, but I wanted to fight the kid. But it was more so I just wanted to confront him and see his face. And he tried to run, but the cops grabbed him. And I don't know what happened. Like, it's a bike. I have no idea. I just wanted to fight back. So it was
capital punishment.
100%. Yeah. At that point, I was seeing red. I was so furious. I'm just like, how would you steal someone's bike? Like, what are you doing? So brutal. The Dolphins have had a very interesting start to the season. They didn't like their start against Jacksonville, but came back and found a way to get a win. Obviously, there was the whole off field situation with Tyreek Hill and then the police department, and then it got injuries to Mostert. Like, it's only been 1 week, Theo, but oh my goodness, there's like 2 months of storylines already happening for Miami.
That's South Florida for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, things move at a rapid pace. Nothing is ever normal. And the Tyreek Hill situation before the game, likely of all the things you brought up, the one wild card you would have never thought of. But it's really like right now, the fact that the Dolphins do have a similar feel to what they had last year of an offense that can seem inevitable at points, big playability, and you saw that all in one strike when you saw that 80-yard Tyreek Hill touchdown. So things are still good. And also, even with a running back down and Raheem Mostert, who's out with the chest issue, they've got like a heap of backs in that backfield for Mike McDaniel. So I don't think there's much of a threat or an issue with that.
When you look at the backs tonight, Achan is obviously banged up. Is Wilson going to get the majority of reps?
Well, that's the thing. I've actually been going back and forth. My good buddy Cam Wolf with NFL Network, who was out there and was watching a lot of those reps, he did that joint report with Ian Rappaport today for NFL Network, talking about how it will be Jeff Wilson, right? It will be the rookie Jalen Wright, but Achan looks good. He looks healthy enough to be heavily involved, and the assumption is he's going to be getting a lot of that passing down work. He's going to be the guy that they try and feed with targets. You saw he had 7 targets, 7 catches, over 70 yards receiving for the Dolphins in week 1 against the Jaguars. So he'll still get a decent enough workload, but I'm surprised myself that with as much weapons that they have in that backfield, like how do you not sit a guy like Achan out who's an undersized back and it's a short week against a physical Bills team? Like I wouldn't have risked it, but that must mean that tells you just how far along McDaniel and the staff feel about where Achan is going into this tonight's game.
This game, I know it's only week 2, but it's a pretty huge game considering both of these teams have aspirations to win the division, go deep in the playoffs. And, this game tonight could not right away, but could go a long ways to see who finishes near the top of the division or, guarantees to get maybe even a bye depending on what happens in the other divisions. But it is early, but it feels like a pretty big game.
It's a big game, Jason. Like, don't let anybody in South Florida, especially, or in that Dolphins team facility fool you. You talked about how your bike kind of got stolen. Josh Allen is like the big bully in the neighborhood that has stolen the Dolphins' bike. The Bills are the big brother in the AFC East looking to get their 5th straight division crown. And if you're a Dolphins team right now, there's no excuses as to why you shouldn't win this game. That Bills offense, it's very new look. Josh Allen targeted 10 different guys. Stephon Diggs isn't out there anymore. You don't have a guy in Gabe Davis out there anymore. And you're at home. And it's hot outside. If the Dolphins can't find a way to win tonight, it's not like they'll show that there's some panic, but I do believe that all of the optimism that's been around South Florida and Miami Gardens, not just with the fan base, but with the team itself, it's going to have to feel like it's dissipating a bit. Like the Bills got worse on paper this offseason. The Dolphins, if not got better, at least re-upped on their guys, and you have to win in this primetime game. So you said it's kind of a big game. I think it's more of a big game for the Fins because it just would feel like 2 losses almost, not just because of the divisional game, but because of who you're losing to and what time of the year it is.
Theo Dorsey joins us talking Thursday Night Football, the Dolphins hosting the Bills. And I really look at Tua specifically. Theo, you're paying a guy $53 million. You're paying him to win this game.
Yep. Yeah, you're paying him to win this game, and you paid Tyreek Hill $30 million. You paid Jalen Waddle $30 million. You went and got him another back in the offseason in the draft in Jalen Wright. You technically went and got OBJ, but he's out kicking it by the beach, rehabbing. He's getting well. But you also got a guy like Jalen Ramsey, who you paid a big contract, the most guaranteed for a corner, in the league. And if you look at Ramsey, he gave up not 1 but 2 touchdowns on the defensive secondary. You don't pay him that kind of bread to not be a guy that's making plays for you in a positive way. So yes, you paid Tua to win this game. You also paid all of the pieces around him to be supportive enough to get him there, whereas the Bills had a lot more. Again, they had more of an exodus out of Buffalo this year. So that's why it'll feel like 2 losses, man. You can't – this is the year to beat the Bills. Like last year was the year to beat the Chiefs because they had, a bit of a down year with the weapons around Mahomes and whatnot. This is the year to beat the Bills. And if Miami can't do it, if Josh Allen improves to 11-2 against Miami, like it's going to feel inevitable. It's going to feel like a wall that they can't climb. So it's a huge week 2 game.
When you mention Josh Allen and 10-2 thus far, what has he been able to do that Miami just can't find an answer for?
It's kind of his ability to find answers. Find answers. This is adaptability. it reminds me of how it would always feel like on that random college football Saturday, you have that dual threat quarterback that has a contender on the on upset alert, kind of like what we saw from USF against Bama just this past weekend or whatnot. But on top of that, he just is a much better quarterback than I think he still even gets credit for. He's so volatile, so he'll have these really bad turnovers and these really bad games. But he also is so tough to stop when he is careful. And I don't know what it is about the aquamarine or in orange, but he seems to show up best when he's playing against the Dolphins. And they just haven't been able to find a real answer. You got a new D coordinator in there now. You have a new look defense, and you hope that you find some kind of answers at this point. But while you can get to an offense spot and affect them with the pass rush, there's no real way to affect Josh Allen other than him kind of getting in the way of himself.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned, they downgrade, they got some young receivers, I look at Buffalo and I think Josh Allen, it illustrates just maybe how good he is. If all of a sudden they're downgrading the talent around him and he's still having success, this is, that might quiet some of the, Josh Allen isn't that good. Like I saw some people complaining about his touchdown run, that it's too risky to jump over a guy. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's in the fourth quarter. If he slides, now it's 3rd and 5 from the 5. Like, I thought that was an unbelievable play to make. And he jumped over a guy. Like Josh Allen's a big dude. He went after a guy who was like 40 pounds lighter than him. It wasn't like he was trying to leapfrog a 300-pound D lineman.
The only thing I would caution with Josh Allen is some of the same things we praise him for feel eerily similar to that quarterback out of Auburn that starred for Carolina, in the mid-2000s, and Cam Newton. And I don't say this to say that Josh Allen is as good of a quarterback as him, because I see a lot of that kind of debate going on Twitter and whatnot, and I don't feel like getting into that rhetoric. But the reckless abandon in which he plays, and also the fearlessness because of how bigger, stronger, faster he is than defenders at a lot of times, that's what got Cam Newton's shoulder hurt. And that's what got other injuries piling up. At a point in time, we thought Cam Newton was indestructible. Snap of a finger, a couple of injuries, and he was never the same. I would hate to see that happen to Josh Allen, but I think that's why people get so nervous on these runs that he does. But it's electric football. You got to love it, Jason.
Oh, God, 100%. Now, Waddle, any side effects at all? He kind of got his bell rung in week 1.
It doesn't seem like so far. It feels like he's good. Him and Tyreek being able to pair up again for 100 yards. It feels like that passing game is back where they left off last year, if not at a better stance. Sorry about that. The rain is actually picking up here in South Florida. I don't know if you hear all that background noise.
Oh, yeah.
As I'm sitting outside and enjoying the fresh air. But Jalen Waddle, it feels like after such a disappointing year last season, even Tyreek Hill said it himself. They kind of want him to have a huge bounce back year. Fantasy football managers are looking forward to that as well. And I do think that he'll be good for tonight. But again, with a guy like that, with his small frame, he's always one play away from getting banged up again and being sidelined. That's always the risk when you have those slender receivers.
Now, you mentioned the rain's coming down now. What's the schedule tonight for weather? Is it going to be a factor?
It shouldn't be.
Okay.
I say it shouldn't be, and that's because, it's more so flash rain that we've been having on and off out here. So that's what it kind of is like this time of year in South Florida. It won't impact the Bills because, they know how to play a down and gritty game with Josh Allen. It shouldn't impact the Dolphins because they've been practicing in this all offseason long and they're used to it. But yeah, it's more so these flash rains that have been coming in and out. We've also got some high school football out here that we like to stay on top of and cover. They'll be more impacted by it than I think we get anything out of Thursday night football.
Okay, yeah, just the fields and everything like that, I would think.
It doesn't. Yeah, definitely not. They're more than prepared out there at Hard Rock Stadium.
Theo, did you ever have a Kuahara as a kid?
I didn't. And as you were talking about your bike, I remember specifically my first bike. It was blue, had a nice gloss paint on it, yellow accent. And the one problem I had with my bike was the brakes. How they have it right there on the right, handle. The brake on my bike was always a little bit iffy, and I never got it fixed. And I just remember always being nervous. I would stop early coming up the stop signs because I never knew whether or not this would be the time it failed on me or not. I had some very awkward occasions where I almost flew off the front of my bike. So that's my memories of my first bike.
Dude, I actually got Kuahara remade, and lime green, my favorite color. And so I ride it like twice a year now. My son's old enough now that I noticed he took it out for a spin the other day, and all of his buddies were like, hey, so he got, Dad's got a little bit of respect finally for the lime green Kuahara.
I love that.
Oh, dude.
I absolutely love that. Yeah. Maybe I'll give you a bike. I'm inspired.
You might have to get one, Theo. Yeah. Maybe you bike in the rain. Get to the game.
Look, that I won't be doing.
Awesome. Thanks, Theo. Enjoy the game tonight. Appreciate your time.
Appreciate you, man. Likewise.
Have a good one. There's Theo Dorsey joining us. Man, you could hear the rain. So flash rain. It is just coming down. And I've been in Miami, Fort Lauderdale. When it does rain, like, oh my goodness, it'll just pour for half an hour. And then all of a sudden it's fine. It's a pretty humid place. But when it comes down, like when we were, it rained, it was so humid. The one night I was there for the Stanley, the 2 nights we were there for the Stanley Cup, I was like, oh my God, like it is like we were out at like midnight, 1 a.m, and you're just sweating bullets at that time. Usually it cools down a little bit, but not then. When we come back, what hasn't cooled down is all of the storylines and Austin Martin with a big signing. And we'll find out just how much better potentially they could be in the future. Might not be until 2026 with all the new cars, but it's a pretty big announcement that we'll get to that and more in another busy weekend in F1 and more racing next on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Gin and juice, just trying to stay cool. And I'm sweating buckets bigger than a swimming pool. Cruise to Heritage Mall to enjoy some AC. Then my shorty hears the homies from Legacy. I say, listen, yo, where we gonna get the dough to pay Legacy from the radio? He says Legacy Heating's got a deal that's the bomb with no interest or payments flipping all year long. No money, no problems. That's the life that I choose. Chillaxing with thousands of BTU. Doing whatever the heck that was. That's how you build a legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
The locks are on a timer. They're going to get out.
Sounds like the men and women of Action Electrical.
Service team reporting. With the remarkable reach of our bucket trucks and other equipment, we assess, service, and maintain your electrical lighting and automation systems.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need, Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
It all began in 2006.
Edmonton's premier live music and party venue was born.
Well, guess what? We're now legal age.
On the Rocks is turning 18.
Party with us September 20th.
As we celebrate our 18th birthday.
Happy birthday!
Enjoy Sound Station.
Live music from the Arcana King.
And a chance to win $500 cash.
Thank you for an amazing 18 years.
On the Rocks.
OTR's 18th birthday, September 20th.
On the Rocks.
Jasper Ave and 118th.
Mr. Rooter goes on a water slide.
Welcome to the Sky Screamer. Please keep your arms crossed over your...
Oh, don't worry about old Mr. Rooter. I'm the last person you have to worry about clogging this pipe.
Actually, it's for your safety.
This plumbing-themed amusement park is amazing. To see the world from inside a giant pipe, it feels like Honey, I Shrunk the Mr. Rooter. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm ready to be flushed.
For a plumbing good time, slide into the DMs of Mr. Rooter.
This summer, as the sun shines, the grass will grow. You'll find a wide selection of Echo summer cleanup equipment at the Lawnmower Hospital. From grass trimmers and chainsaws to log splitters and multi-tool systems. All backed by Echo's outstanding 5-year consumer warranty. Make summer yard care a breeze with Echo and the Lawnmower Hospital. LawnmowerHospital.com.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
What's better than Tim's Rewards points? 2 times the Tim's Rewards points. Use Scan and Pay on the Tim's app from now until September 30th to earn 2 times the points. Pay, earn, and redeem all with one scan. Only on the Tim's app. Canada only, limited time only. Terms apply. See app for details.
.344. Christine Sinclair will join us. It's always great to have someone who's one of the GOATs in their sport, the all-time leader in international goals in women's soccer. She will join us at 4:20, talk about her career, and I'll probably have to ask her a little bit about the drone situation. Probably piss her off, I would think. But just, you know what? Then obviously they had great success at the Olympics and everything else, so that's coming up in about 45 minutes. But first, we got lots to talk about. Let's get right to it in the Racing Report, brought to you by Can Torque. They offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Learn more at cantorque.com. As Colin Livingston joins us once again. We were just laughing at Colin's getting soft in his old age. 15 degrees too tough for you. You want a Tucson for you?
It's cold out there. Like, I know I never used to feel the cold like this, but today, like I said, like driving over, I've got my jacket on, like the jacket I got on Monday from the tournament. I've got my sweater, I've got a shirt, and I'm sitting in my car, like, and my hands are frozen. Like, yeah, getting, I mean, we're lucky that we get older, but I don't like the side effects.
Big announcement in F1 as Adrian Newey has formally announced he's joining Aston Martin in March of 2025. So I don't know how the rules are that he can't do anything before then or how they enforce that or not. But you know what? He's going to start working on the 2026 car because that's obviously when there's going to be significant changes. But how big potentially can this be? Like, because here's my question. In other sports, you know what? You had a guy who was a really good GM or a coach at one organization, then he goes and he never reenacts. He's not able to be that good in the new place. And I know this is a little bit different, but what's your thoughts on what this could mean to Aston Martin?
I mean, he's easily the greatest designer of his generation and easily one of the greatest designers of all time. That is not in question. His impact, I don't think, will be immediate, and it's absolutely no guarantee that Aston Martin's going to be at the front of the grid, especially because by the time his work starts to come into play, he said he doesn't know if he's going to interpret the rules package, which hasn't been finalized yet properly. It's going to come down to who does that. But, you know, Fernando Alonso is going to be 45 years old. Lance Stroll is not exactly high on anyone, you know, any other team's list to be signed. I mean, he's a good driver, don't get me wrong, but is he a championship caliber driver?
Yeah.
No. You know, so I think there's going to have to be a few more changes over at Aston Martin. I mean, they're already starting to put a push in for Verstappen alongside Mercedes, trying to get him out of Red Bull. That would make a huge difference to get Newey and Verstappen paired up again. They've obviously had a lot of success, but I mean, Newey's success hasn't been limited to Red Bull. I mean, he won, I think it's 8 championships with Williams. Like, so it's not like he can't fit in. He's got a real indefinable ability to see air.
Okay.
So he gets this taste, this feeling of how the air is going over the car to maximize the downforce while minimizing the drag. And that's kind of what F1's all about.
Yeah. So I'm kind of just curious to see, you know, it's like anything. It's one part of the team, but as you alluded to, the driver's age and then maybe just the overall skill set. The 2026 car, and we've got texts coming in already wondering if you think, is Red Bull struggles because they're focusing on the 2025 car?
Probably. They're really having to backpedal though, because they said even at the beginning of this year, they were basically going with their 2023 car. And they've got really far behind on their updates, and the updates they've launched have kind of brought them backwards, which is where we've seen this like 40-second swing from where Max used to be winning by by 3 football fields down to, losing or, finishing 5th, 6th, 7th. I don't think there's not enough of a difference between the rules now to the rules next year to start worrying about they can't focus on 2025. They have a department that is purely dedicated to that already, just like all the other teams do. But yeah, they really need to keep their head in the game here this year, because as of now, the Constructors' Championship is really opened up to McLaren and Ferrari, and the drivers, while the driver's a little bit more out of touch for Lando Norris, it's still getting tighter with, whatever it is, 7 or 8 races to go. I mean, but that's where it starts to get fun, is where the outcome isn't a given.
Yeah, no, it's true. That's what you want, I think, anyway. Now it returns to Baku this coming weekend. Then they're going to Singapore before they have a late break into October. The championships, we've talked about it. This is the best we've seen, both the constructor and the racers themselves.
Yep.
What's your expectations for this weekend? And I know when you talked last, you said, hey, at some point McLaren seems to have a plan. Well, it seems like they finally decided they're going to have a plan, and Oscar is going to be the number 2.
Which bodes well for their chances in both the drivers and constructors, for newer fans or people who are not really sure of the difference between one or the other. The Constructors' Championship is where the money is. You win the Constructors' Championship, that's where all your big prize money comes from, which really helps get your company happy. The Drivers' Championship is really just a prestige thing that the driver is able to, take pride in that. But there's not really any cash that goes with it. This weekend, I mean, Baku is probably the most unique street circuit that the series goes to. Maybe the most unique street circuit anywhere. I mean, Singapore next weekend is going to rival it just because it's a night race, so everything's under the lights, which is really a different look. But with one of the longest straightaways in F1 history in Baku, that seems to be where almost every incident in that race has happened. Is really, aside from people crashing on other parts of, there's 20 turns. People will crash all over the place, but coming onto the last straightaway a bunch of years ago, Seb Vettel, crashed into the back of Hamilton and then side slammed him.
Yeah.
Verstappen and Danny Ricciardo, when they were fighting, Ricciardo ended up in the back of Verstappen. They took each other out. It was probably 5 years ago, Verstappen was leading, but blew a tire on the straightaway. So yeah, it'll be fun to see. They're extending the DRS zone this year by like 100 meters. But Baku is the place where they've reached the single highest speed, which was Bottas in a Williams of 366.2 kilometers an hour in a straight line. So, I don't think the 100-meter extra is going to be enough, because these ground effect cars, they just don't have the speed, the top end speed like they used to. It's a little bit harder for them to get there, but it'll be fun to see. Hopefully, I never wish for contact, but hopefully we get to see some good racing.
Oh yeah, that's crazy speed, man. I didn't know that was the fastest one. Woo. You look at the IndyCar, the last race of the season. I guess technically the championship is still up for grabs, and there'd have to be a lot of things that Paolo would have to pretty much tank it, and Will Power would have to win, and then have a few other things. I guess not even tank. He's got to finish out of the top 10, correct? Is that what it is?
Yeah, no matter what Willie does, he's got to finish 9th or worse for that to happen.
Paolo.
Yeah, Will Power, sorry. Yeah. Will has to win the race, lead the most laps, and I think he has to take pole. That's his maximum point haul. But since this new hybrid system came into IndyCar, the Ganassi cars really seem to have taken the worst of it, where Scott Dixon had the race at Mid-Ohio where his car just wouldn't start, or it wouldn't run. And Palou actually had this already a couple weeks ago. I think it was at Iowa. So there is a chance that they go to roll out and they have an issue with that hybrid system. And, he's watching the start of the race where, Willie P goes on to have a pretty good weekend. First time back at Nashville since 2008. There's only 3 drivers in the field that have ever competed there, kind of similar to the race, the last race at Milwaukee. So that'll be fun. It's kind of a fresh look for all these drivers. But again, not wishing Palou to have any issue, but that's kind of what it's going to take.
Well, the one thing is Penske has dominated on the oval tracks this year. So at least that gives Power some hope.
Yep. Plus he's got 2 teammates to not necessarily block, but they can work as Ganassi also has, a couple of non-schmucks like Scott Dixon. So they can kind of play a little bit of defense. But of course, once the helmet goes on, these guys just become very selfish and very focused on trying to get the wins for themselves.
And give me your thoughts on, we had the driver change in circling back to F1. What really kind of the firing during the year? What'd you make of his first race?
Brought the car back in one piece. You're talking about Colapinto?
Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't seem over his head, was under control, followed team orders. And again, something that seems to be a challenge over that Williams is getting the car back in one piece. So no, for his first race, and like the first time in, I can't remember what it is, 30 years, something like that, a driver from Argentina is competing in F1. Very cool story. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. He's the first in a long time.
Now, how much of an open audition do you see this? Like, if he does decent enough and as you finishes the races and brings it back, do you think he could be there next year?
No.
Okay.
No, I think, at the very least, he'll land a reserve test driver role. I don't think he's really on anyone's radar for a full-time seat. There's not that many left anymore. And it's really hard to go away from someone, Valtteri Bottas doesn't have a seat next year. So when you get that level of experience, I mean, he's a previous race winner. I just don't think so. Especially, definitely not with Williams. They've already signed Carlos Sainz, so their team is set for next year. But yeah, he'll probably still be kicking around. I thought you were going to ask about bikes.
Do you have a Kui?
I didn't. I had a Norco.
Okay.
But you talked about your first bike was a blue bike. You said it wasn't a BMX.
Yeah, it was. I remember I just don't know. Like, honestly, I think it was like from Zellers. That's all. Like, you got to remember, right? So it was from Zellers.
Banana seat?
No, my brother had a one with a banana seat, but I did have I had the blue bike, and then when I outgrew it, I got his green one with the banana seat. And like, I know they don't make banana seats anymore. So the banana seat was essentially almost like a foot long, right? Like, it was a long seat.
It's like a bench.
And it was great because you could double someone, and they had the little handle on the back, right? Yeah. So they could hang on. Banana seat was a great invention for a while. I love the banana seat.
And it seemed to have higher bars.
Yes.
Like, it wasn't, when you said the blue bike, that flashed me back to my first one, which was a Bobcat. And where I grew up in Stony Plain, we had this little sand berm in the back of our parking lot that my neighbor, Peter Fisher, and we made all these little jumps, and we kept jumping and jumping and jumping. And I actually snapped the main post through the angle post. So we couldn't afford another bike. So I had to ride that thing. And once it broke, it looked like a current day chopper. I had my arms way up, laid back, and it had that, it was even cooler sound than having the cards and the spokes.
And lastly, what do you make of Michael Jordan's team in NASCAR and also Front Row Motorsports? They didn't sign the NASCAR charter. I'll be honest, I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
So can you give us the Cole's notes? What does this mean?
So Michael Jordan's partnered with Denny Hamlin and
Yeah, they're like-
20XI Racing.
Yeah.
They are affiliated with Joe Gibbs in that, Gibbs provides the cars, the engines, et cetera, et cetera. Denny is a really militant, business person as well as a driver. And I'm not saying that in a negative context. He didn't like the deal. And it seems like NASCAR is authoritarian. It is their way. There are some things that they'll negotiate on, but eventually they just kind of put their foot down and say, this is the deal. You either take it or not, especially when they've got the rest of the majority of the teams like Hendrick, signed up. It'll be interesting to see if they cave or not. But yeah, I mean, I tip my hat for them fighting for what they think is right, but it's probably not the hill that they want to die on.
Yeah.
Because, they could lose their charter. If they lose their charter, or if it's, theoretically, if NASCAR has threatened that they could take the charter away, that puts them on the sidelines having to qualify for every event. The charter is what gave these teams some resale value so that they don't have to worry about whether or not they're in the show or not in the show. And if that gets pulled away and then it gets sold to somebody else, they're really going to be licking their wounds, because that's tough to come back from.
Colin, great stuff, man. We will chat with you next week. Have a good one. Stay warm. Go get some hot shots.
I have to.
Let's get to Connor Halley in a sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. They have teamed up with Sports Central this month. We've been talking about bikes, but maybe you have a bike and you know what, your kid's bike and it's old, it can't fix it. Well, don't throw it away. Deliver it this Saturday, 10 to 3 to Sports Central. You can find all the locations at sports1440.ca or go to sportscentral.org.
The Sports 1440 update.
Week 2 in the NFL kicks off tonight as the Miami Dolphins hosting the Buffalo Bills down in South Florida. The Dolphins will be without running back Raheem Mostert. Well, it looks like Devon Achane will be good to go, playing through the ankle injury from the NHL. Devils starting their season without Luke Hughes. The team announcing the defenseman will be out 6 to 8 weeks with a left shoulder injury. And the Calgary Flames signing Jacob Pelletier to a 1-year, 2-way contract with $800,000. Former first-round pick, 113 games last season, recording 13 points. Major League Baseball, we got 3 finals for you. Astros over the Athletics 6-3. Rockies double up the Tigers 4-2, and the Reds fall to the Cards 6-1. Later today, Marlins in Washington. The Yankees host the Red Sox. Rays up against the Guardians. Rangers travel to Seattle, and the Giants host the Milwaukee Brewers. And in the WNBA tonight, you've got Brianna Stewart and the Liberty taking on the Wings. That'll get going just after 6 o'clock. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by the GOAT of women's soccer, Christine Sinclair, and we'll ask 5 questions. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray Radio Station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Rule number 12, not spending the afternoon tubing on the Pembina. Next, you're going to tell us you don't wear flannel. Summer in Alberta has its own set of rules. And if you're looking to add a little extra fun, Play Alberta has it all. Use promo code SUMMER to snag a $50 casino bonus for casino, instance, and live dealer with your next deposit. Get ready for promotions throughout the summer to help you make the most of those sunny Alberta days, because we all know they won't last long enough. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
Ain't it beautiful? There's electricity in the air. Carrie Dahl here for Volvo of Edmonton, where the Volvo XC40 and C40 fully electric vehicle is now in stock, along with a great selection of Volvo T8 hybrid models. Experience the trusted Volvo quality and technology to power into tomorrow at Volvo Cars Edmonton, Canada's only 12-time Volvo Excellence Award winners. Experience the difference.
Volvo of Edmonton.
At Fountain Tire, we love jingles. Get up to 25% off select tires.
Until October 19th.
Plus a bonus $50 off any service of $150.
Restrictions apply.
Look online today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. for sales, service, parts, rental, and finance. When you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Gather around the radio, kiddies, for the best time of day. It's Oodle Noodle time. Listen in this week as your noodle hero battles the barbarous Bobby Burger. Now sing along. You know the words.
They want to die on because, you know,
Oodle Noodle time. You know what time it is now. Get up and give me your best Oodle Noodle dance. Your best time of day is Oodle Noodle time.
3.
Clearance is on at GMC. Get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2024 Sierra 1500 Elevation. With Sierra's 13.4-inch diagonal premium GMC infotainment system with Google built-in compatibility, available off-road package with hill descent control, plus an available 3-liter Duramax diesel engine, you can take the road less traveled and try new things, like fishing or whitewater rafting. I should have gone fishing. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Get up, pack it in. Let me begin. I came knowing battle me, that's a sin. I won't ever slack up. I'll give it a back up. Try and play the role and you're the whole crew will act up. Get up, stand up, come on, put your hands up.
Just after 4 o'clock. Welcome back, Gregor Halley, Declan Kruger, running things at Orders Nation Facebook, as well as their YouTube channel on X, Instagram. Thanks for watching. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Sports1440.ca, Sports1440. And as always, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, and it's the Daily Grand. One day. It's my goal. Like, you know, when you have goals in life that you want to do stuff, like you can really, so I'm studying the Daily Grand. That's going to be my goal, is to win the Daily Grand at some point. Who knows when, but it'd be amazing. I just want it for the satisfaction of getting paid every day for 20 years. I can't beat it. Kind of addicted to it, honestly. I don't overspend on it, but I play it. Check it out. PlayAlberta.ca. Good luck. Good luck.
Would you do good every day with that money?
I'm not a big spender. Right? I now it's funny because I'm not frugal. I'm gonna ask any of my friends. You know, I'm never the last guy to buy rounds or anything like that. But like for me, I don't really buy a lot of stuff for myself. I never have really been into that. Like if now I'll save up, and then if I want something like a lime green Kuahara, boom, I'll get it, no problem. But yeah, like I wouldn't like Con's true story. I think I have purchased for myself 0 things online. I've done some online shopping, but it's usually for like a Christmas present.
Mm-hmm.
I have yet. I like to go to the store. If I need something, I want to try it on. Like, I don't know how, like I see people who buy clothes, they get it delivered to their house, they try it on, it doesn't fit, and then they send it back. And then they get a different size. And I'm like, what? Like, I don't know. I don't like doing that. So now I get if you grew up in the era where everything's online, it's just different. But I've never been a huge shopper. But when I go, I'll go pick out some stuff. But still to this day, Cons, I can't recall purchasing anything for myself. Well, other than tickets, I guess that did tickets count? I guess tickets.
I think so.
I bought some tickets, so I guess that would technically count as online, right? I don't go to the airport to buy my flight ticket anymore. So, but as far as like clothes or batteries or whatever else you're buying, you know, stuff like that, no. Like even if it's like something for the house, I still want to go to the store because I want to make sure I'm getting the right one the first time. Does it take me a little bit longer? Yes. But I don't have the stress or the anger, the frustration of getting it when it comes to the door. Then you pull it out of the box and it's not the right one. No. I don't like it. Not at all.
I get that. Talk to an expert. Make sure you have the right thing. Don't send it, because sending it back and dealing with Amazon, I've heard, is a bit of a pain. But I'm not going to lie to you. Sometimes it is very convenient.
Hey, Gregor, would you take the grand a day or the $7 million payout? You can get the one-time payout because it's 7.2 mil, right? It's $1,000 a day. We did the math for 20 years. So you can do a one-time thing. Well, that would make more sense, right? Because then you put it in a bank, you're going to get some interest. So, yeah. But that would ruin my whole point of it. So I'm pretty comfortable in my life. Like, obviously, I would love 7 million, but I think I might stick with $1,000 a day, just because I know for the next 20 years I'm getting it every day. Right? Might just go into an account and accrue the interest. I just want to see it every day. I don't know. It's a small thing. It's because it's the small things, they say, Cons, that make you happy. And that, to me, I would never get bored of seeing you have a deposit, $1,000. It would never make you feel bad, ever. Even if you're having a crap day. Oh, hey, $1,000, smile on my face. Way you go. I like it. Hey guys, I'm with you. Online shopping for clothes and shoes is messed up from Tequila. Now, obviously, it's very well. Lots of you do it. I don't know, like shoes and pants. I gotta see it. I gotta try it on. I want to look in the mirror. Hey, what's happening? Just how it is. And shoes, as we all know, you might be a size 9 in one brand or a 10. Then the other brand, you're 10.5 or 9.5. There's no consistency in shoes. It's all over the map. It's a crazy time. I don't understand why you just can't. Hey, size 9 should be size 9. Why is size 9 in a Converse different than size 9 in an Adidas or, name the other brand? I don't get it. So, hey, Greg, yeah, it would suck to have to stare at 7 million in the bank. Here's the difference, though. I don't get a notification every day that I have 7 million in the bank. I know it's there, but I have to actively go get it. I'm not getting a gift every day. I'm getting a gift of $1,000 every day. That's how I would view it. So everybody's different. I get the theory and I understand the interest, and it makes more sense to take the lump sum payment. It's like a bonus in the NHL. You get a $10 million on July 1st. Boom, you can invest. Heck, you can invest $9 million of it right away. And now you got a whole year of interest on $9 million compared to if you get your first check October 15th, right? Then October, because what do they have? I think it's twice a month. What do they have? 14 payments in hockey, I think it is. Might be 13, I'm not sure. But either way, I understand it. Right? Instead of 14 at $500K, it's 7. Well, I guess no, it'd be even more than that. But let's just say whatever. You were doing 7 mil salary. You could get it all at once or pay it out over the time. I get the theory of it. I'm just talking about the joy of a gift. Stop trying to ruin my joy. I want to ruin your joy. I don't get it. Hey guys, I brought in Lulu briefs once in person. Now I order them online because I know exactly what I'm getting. Well, I guess as long as your size chart doesn't change, right? Are you like Seinfeld, Noel? Looking at a 33, do you scratch it out as a 32? What's going on? I will say though, there's especially any of the young men listeners out there, if you're still in the age of your life where you're hoping your boys swim and you want kids, Connor Halley's in that regard, newly married. Be sure that you don't have the plastic undies. Not good. Lots of research on the Cons. Get the cotton ones. You don't suddenly, you're stifling the fellas. All of a sudden, you're shooting blanks.
Well, hey, you know what? We've mentioned it on Fantasy Frenzy, Gregor. My wife Ashley and I are expecting.
I didn't know you made it public. I didn't want to say anything.
We talked about it a little bit.
Okay.
Also, plastic.
Well, there's the different material in there. It's got plastic stuff in it. You read up on it. You want to get the cotton ones for all the guys out there. If you want to be a pops, now you probably still could be, but it just there's all the studies on it that it's not good. All the crap that's in that stuff, right? You don't want
to look into this. It's like microplastics now.
Yes, they're everywhere.
Crazy.
Yes, they're everywhere. So I want to do it. So there you go. A lot of people volunteering to say, "Hey, guys, give me some money, Gregor, and I'll notify you every day that you have the money in the bank." That'd be a good gig, eh? Give me $200K. I'll notify you every day. Well, all right. Nah, not the same. I just want to get it every day. Now I have to win. So hopefully I win. Con man, congratulations. Didn't know. It's a wild ride. Dad of a 3-year-old from Stu. Ooh. Con's now you're like down to the final 2 months, are we not?
Yeah. Early November we're expecting here. So what's that? Less than 2 weeks or 2 months away.
Are you guys nesting yet?
Nesting?
Yeah, so more the mom than the dad. But as it gets close to downtime, like everything's ready, you got all this stuff. There's a little bit of stress because everywhere, everything's got to be all set up and perfect. Like some people like to know they got everything painted and all their cars. Now, if you're having a boy or girl, that can help. We didn't. I wanted the surprise factor. I kind of liked it. My wife had a feeling, so she bought like frames, and some had a pink and a blue background, whatever. So she was covered with both. I was like, whatever. But and I don't really care. Like to me, boys can like pink, they can like blue. It doesn't matter to me. But there is 7 months yet, so probably not. But the final month, Gons, you'll notice things change.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we are slowly starting to collect things. Got the crib, got those types of things ready to go here. Couple older siblings. So a lot of donations, a lot of clothes. They're like, don't buy clothes. They're going to grow out of it so fast. Take these. Yeah. So that's been a huge benefit for sure. But slowly doing the changes around the house to get it ready.
I would recommend, if you want one thing to do, we had a diaper party, we called it. My buddies, we had a diaper party. Greatest thing. We played poker. We had a fun night. It was just a reason to get together, and guys showed up with a box of diapers. That was their gift. Because let's be honest, like, what are you buying? You can buy way too much stuff and whatever. But the diapers, that's what you need. And luckily, without even those guys talking to each other, I had lots of different sizes. So I never had way too much of the newborns, right? Like some guys were buying it for 6 months old and for the year for different size. It was amazing. Like, because diapers get expensive, dude, and you're using them all the time. Now, maybe you go with cloth. Good for you if you do. We kind of did half and half, but it was fantastic. It was just a great reason to get together with the fellas.
Yeah, I've been to a handful of those. I haven't been alerted if I'm getting one. I don't know if my friends are listening or not, but I've made a few donations to those. So I'm not opposed to it. I'm definitely would not be opposed to that because, I've heard the stories. You run through them pretty quick.
The guys, stretch jeans have changed my life, especially the $18 ones from Costco. Officially an old bleeping man from Lindsay. That does sound like you get to a certain point where you're just like, you know what? Although you don't want to just give up yet. Like there's still certain etiquette on what you should wear out in public. Right? Like I know we've had this conversation before. There's just like, you can't have holes. Right? You don't want your shirts and shoes too dirty. And pajamas in public, you're not there yet. Like that's when you might as well just put a sign on you that says I've given up. You don't want to do that. Don't want to do that at all. So the con man, do you guys know if it's a boy or girl?
We do, yeah. So a little boy coming.
So have you guys are you at the name picking stage yet?
Nothing's official. We've talked about it. Yeah, we've worked it down.
You've worked it. Do you have a veto?
Oh, tons.
Yeah.
So many. Ashley had a list of like probably 25 names and we just went through them. And
how many did you bring to the list?
Well, I'll say this. I had
is that the polite way of saying zero?
I had a few more when it was girl names, and then when we found out it was a boy, it was like, oh geez.
You have no boy names?
Well, no, actually, we went through the list that she had because she came to me with the list, and when we went through them, and I was like, there was probably 3 or 4 I liked, probably about 20 I vetoed.
Yeah. What was like the obvious veto ones for you?
Geez, it was some of the old-fashioned ones. There's some people that listen to the show that have those names. And they had no impact on my
that's fine.
decision.
It doesn't matter.
But
they're going to be offended.
Walter was one.
Walter. Okay. Didn't like Walter. All right.
No, I didn't like Walter.
I thought did you veto any names because you knew a guy by that name and you thought he was a dick? So you didn't
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot. Even like some professional athletes. I was like,
yeah, that's fair.
Don't like that guy.
So did Ashley, did she veto LaDaniel? Because I know you were bringing it up, didn't you? Hey, honey, what do you think about this?
It was funny because she did say, like, well, what are some professional athletes' names? And of course, that's the first one I went to.
And she's like, no.
Don't know about that one. Philip, Antonio. Yeah.
Philip. Oh, my God.
Justin Herbert Halley. How about that one? Yeah, those were kind of vetoed pretty quickly from her. But yeah, we probably got like 3 to 5 we're dabbling with.
All
it.
right. Are they on the fridge, like a list? You look at them? Because that's what we had. It was
really?
Oh, yeah. We just had a sheet on the fridge. So if you add one. And so I would just play a game. I was just putting names on for a while that I knew were terrible.
Crotch says Benedict. Ooh, classy.
Oh.
Ones you knew she would say no to immediately.
Benedict Halley. Classic.
Back. Yeah, Montana de Rice gets it. It's going to be named LaDainian Tomlinson Halley.
Oh, yeah. Jeez. Trust me, he would try. There's no doubt he would try. When we come back, one of the GOATs, Christine Sinclair, next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
In 100 meters, turn right. Actually, no. Turn left. There's some awesome new breakfast wraps at McDonald's.
Really?
Yeah. There's the sausage, bacon, and egg, a crispy seasoned chicken one. A spicy and egg, worth the detour.
They sound amazing.
Bet they taste amazing, too. Wish I had a mouth. Take your morning into a delicious new direction with McDonald's new breakfast wraps. Add a small premium roast coffee for $1 plus tax at participating McDonald's restaurants. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more.
Get ready to revolutionize your job site with Edmonton Kubota's game-changing compact construction equipment. From mini excavators and skid steers to track loaders, carriers, and utility vehicles, they have a model to fit every need, all powered by legendary Kubota diesel engines. These machines are built for performance and reliability. Transform your work with Edmonton Kubota's top-of-the-line compact equipment. Visit them today and see why they're the name you can trust for power and precision.
Booster Juice has a secret. It's a secret menu of secret smoothies you can only see on the Booster Rewards app. Oh, wait. Guess it's not a secret anymore. Visit any Booster Juice and ask for the Ocean's Tide, the Berry Bloom, the Raspberry Rapture, the Strawberry Dip, or the Go Mango. Made with mangoes, pineapple, and yogurt. The secret's out. Tell anyone you want. Find the exclusive secret smoothie menu on the Booster Rewards app and sneak into a Booster Juice near you.
For over 65 years, Denham Ford has delivered the customer service and value that keeps Albertans moving. And when it comes to value, nothing beats an employee price. For a limited time, pay what Ford employees pay during the factory-authorized employee pricing event. You'll see real invoice pricing, and you know you'll get the best deal guaranteed. It's Ford employee pricing on for a limited time where cars always cost less. Denham Ford in Wetaskiwin or at denhamford.ca.
Buy early and score with the Stollery Children's Hospital Foundation Mighty Millions Lottery. Bonus prize deadline is midnight September 20th. Win Lower Bowl Oilers season seats plus $50,000 cash and be in to win the $2.5 million grand prize. A show home with $100,000 cash plus incredible vehicles, luxury vacations, and more. Oilers bonus prize deadline is midnight September 20th. Be mighty. Support Stollery Kids. Buy now at MightyMillionsLottery.com.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV, and the time to think about winterizing your RV is before the snow flies. There's a lot of steps you need to take to winterize your trailer or motorhome.
And you have to get every step right every single time. Right, Rick?
That's right, Bob, because if you make even a little mistake, you might not realize it till spring. By then, it's too late to fix what you got wrong.
Hey, Rick, do you winterize your own trailer?
Not anymore, Bob. I hired people who are smarter than me. Genius technicians who check every component, dozens of systems to be maintained and protected. And today, we offer that service to you, starting at $99. Every winterization package comes with a full report in writing, so you know what to expect come spring. If you're confident to do it yourself, have at it. If you're like me and you'd rather have this done by somebody who knows what they're doing, then come to Noble and we'll take care of you.
And that's Noble.
NobleRV.ca.
Buy now, win more with Stollery Children's Hospital Foundation Mighty Millions Lottery. Score big with the Oilers bonus prize, lower bowl season seats, and $50,000 cash. Take off with the Fiji and Maserati early bird prize, a 7-night vacation to Fiji and a Maserati. Or take $175,000 cash and be in to win the $2.5 million grand prize. Be mighty and support Stollery Kids. Buy now at MightyMillionsLottery.com.
Diablo Boots in Canada West. 2 great names in working cowboy boots. For over 60 years, Diablo has been selling the best-made Canadian boots. Diablo has boots from sizes 6E to size 15 EE, just for you. Why buy boots made in China like Ariat, Justin, or Red Wing, when Diablo has the best quality for less, made in Canada? Diablo has working cowboy boots with replaceable soles and heels for longer life. So, save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard, on the east side of Save On Foods. Hurry in today for best selection.
I couldn't ignore it. Everyone kept saying, "You look so tired."
Are you getting enough sleep, dear?
Hon, you look like you need some rest.
But I'm not tired. I guess I just look that way.
But you don't have to. I'm Dr. Vance Elliott, and I provide skin-refreshing treatments designed to give you a fresh and natural appearance. Don't worry, we won't drastically change how you look, but we will help you look as energetic as you feel. Book your consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
May not mean nothing to y'all. Understand nothing was done for me, so I don't plan on stopping at all. I want it forever, mine, ever mine, ever mine. Shutting down in the mall. It's telling that girl she the one for me, and I ain't even planning to call. I want it forever, mine, ever mine, ever mine.
Last name ever, first name greatest. Like a sprained ankle, boy, ain't nothing to play with. Started off local, but thanks to all the haters, I know G4 pilots on a first name basis. In your city, faded off the ground. Nino, she insists she got more class. We know, swimming in the money, coming fine.
426, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley with you on Sports 1440. Oilers Nation, YouTube, and Facebook. Busy Thursday, and we're going to get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Female Super League, designed to elevate female youth hockey. The FSL brought a platform for 12U and 14U players to develop and improve their skills. Learn more at femalesuperleague.com, and it's fitting when we say female super, because we have one of the GOATs on the show now. Of course, she has the most goals in international soccer of any female player in history. Not bad. Also joins Marta and Cristiano Ronaldo as one of only 3 players to score a goal at 5 World Cups. She, of course, has 2 Olympic bronze medals, a gold medal for Canada. The greatest soccer player Canada has ever had, making 331 appearances and notching 190 goals. From Burnaby, British Columbia, Christine Sinclair joins us. Christine, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Hey, I'm great. Really happy to have you on. I've been wanting to have you on for a long, long time. It's an honor when you get to talk to one of the truly greats. I know you're super humble, but you've been retired now, so you can maybe get used to us calling you one of the greats of the greats. How has it been being away from the game? Is it did you still have the itch, especially watching the Olympics? Like, was that painful or exciting for you to watch?
Well, I mean, I'm still playing pro, so I'm not retired. But no, I mean, watching the Olympics, it was nice to be able to watch and cheer on the team from afar. I thought it was going to be hard, but it really wasn't. It was nice to be a fan. But then, obviously, unfortunately, with everything they had to go through, I wanted to be there to help support them, but did the best I could from afar.
I didn't want to talk about it a lot, so I'll only ask you once, and then we'll move on. But as such a main part of that group and organization for so long, when that came out, how was it anger? Was it frustration? How did you feel? Because right or wrong, people are going to say, "Oh, this has happened," but it didn't make any sense. Like, it was such a dumb thing to do. Like, I can't wrap my head around it as an outsider of somebody who's not nearly as invested in the program as you have been. How was it for you when it all came out? And I'm assuming you must have talked to some of your former, Team Canada teammates about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thought that I had was for the players. This is an Olympic Games, and I mean, yes, Canada has historically done very well in them, but for some players, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Those young players there, it's the first time in an Olympic Games, and they're having to go through that. I felt for them, and to be docked 6 points, man, that's a big hole in a tournament where you play 3 games. But
yeah.
I think what you saw, just the culture that we've created on that national team, and I think they were sad. I think they were frustrated and upset, but at some point they turned a corner and in a way were like, let's just go and do it. You want, like Diana Matheson wrote, you want to take 6, we'll go get 9. And they did that. And I was so proud of them.
Now, we are going to talk about one of the new ventures and partnerships you have going on in a sec, but I want to go back. I research some stuff and I see stuff and I'm always like, okay, that's cool. But sometimes you never know if everything you read on the internet is 100% true, Christine. But you're number 12. Was it because of Roberto Alomar? Is that accurate?
Darn straight. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. When I was growing up, I played all sports. And baseball was actually my true love.
Oh.
And I was convinced I was going to be the first female Jays player. I was a diehard Jays fan. I played second base. Robbie was my favorite player, and I wore number 12 for that reason, and I still do.
Okay, I love it. Now, how long did you play baseball up until? When did you have to make the choice to just play one?
I think I was like 12 or 13, somewhere in there. I was on the boys teams, and my soccer started to conflict, and my parents, they're like, you have to choose one to play competitively, and I guess I chose the right one.
So when you were playing, even now, right? If you had to get up to the plate or you had to field, how is your baseball skills?
I think I think I'd be a little rusty, but I think it would come back.
Okay,
yeah.
And so you played second base, but those Jays teams were unreal. Right, with Roberto Alomar and obviously Carter and the home run and everything else. Like, being a Jays fan at that time, like you were kind of like in the prime time, and unfortunately, they haven't won in a long time. But like Alomar, Paul Molitor, like those were unreal teams.
Oh no, they were unbelievable. It was my family, my brother's an Atlanta Braves fan, my Oakland A's fan in the family. It was just nice to be a Jays fan and just kind of rub it in their faces.
So here was a young Christine Sinclair, and you know what? Even as a professional, I'm number 12 is my number because of Roberto Alomar. And I just think of how many girls, Christine, that you said about, hey, I wanted to be the first female to play for the Jays, and obviously, but there wasn't the opportunities that you have helped create for young girls in soccer now really weren't there as much than when you were little. Like, I know you're a very humble person, but ever think back and be like, there's going to be a lot of girls who are number 12 because of Christine Sinclair.
No, I mean, obviously it's something I see, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud of the change that I've been a part of in the growth of the women's game globally, but especially in Canada. And like you said, when I was growing up, I didn't really know there was a national team. It wasn't a dream to play for Canada. If anything, you heard about Mia Hamm and the U.S. team, and that was about it. But now to see, the national team doing well, a new professional league coming to Canada, it's exciting. And I always said I wanted to leave the sport in a better place, and I think I have.
Oh, definitely. Christine Sinclair joined us. Christine, you're still playing, but you're also, you're involved now with Sport Share. Can you kind of give me a little bit of a background outline and what's SportShare's vision?
Yeah, so it's like it's an online platform where, vetted professionals like myself, but it's not just soccer. It's all different sports. Can share their insights, whether it's training sessions, whether it's like just little individual drills you can do by yourself, whether it's interviews, like the mental side of the game, and people can subscribe and have access to these professionals. And I just think of myself when I was a kid growing up. I would have loved to have had this access and the ability to learn from the pros. The amount of times I spent in my basement or in my backyard, just myself and a soccer ball, not really knowing what to do. It would have been pretty neat to have ideas from professionals and things that help them reach to the heights that they did.
You talk about those moments by yourself and just how much that was really the foundation that became the great Christine Sinclair. Obviously, you had good coaches and stuff along the way, but
no, my mom coached me. No.
But like that individual commitment and time where you weren't, as you just mentioned, you weren't doing it because you thought, hey, I'm going to be an Olympic athlete or, I'm going to play for Team Canada. It was just, I love soccer and I want to be good at it. Do you think sometimes how do we balance that emphasis to allow, just to play and have unstructured fun and not be all about, I've got to get better every day for kids?
Yeah. I mean, for me, it was strictly the love of sports. I mean, obviously soccer is what, I decided to do, but I mean, I just remember my brother and I in our backyard playing football, baseball, just making up random sports in our basement, playing hockey. That's what we chose to do with our free time. We were an athletic family, parents and uncles and cousins that all played sports. It's what we chose to do. And we weren't inside, we weren't on screens. And we were just active. I fell in love with sports, and I never really thought that I was working towards anything. It's just what I chose to do in my spare time. And obviously I had training sessions 2 or 3 times a week, but I think, that's what, 6 hours a week. If you really love something, you'll spend the extra time, you'll put in the extra work, even though you don't even think it's work, especially as a kid. And that's where I think I truly developed. Obviously, yes, I did have some amazing coaches along the way, but it was the time spent on my own with my brother on sidelines of my brother's games, things like that I grew up with a soccer ball. That's a fact. It was always at my feet. My parents hated me for it at times. Our windows hated me for it. But that's what makes a difference.
Christine Sinclair joins us now. Going back to a sec here with SportShare, Christine, as a professional, your opportunity to share your advice and practice and little tips. You can do it on social media, but at times that seems limited. Is this a little bit more where you can kind of control what you put out and what the drill, and maybe even go a little bit more in depth?
Well, I think what you see of social media, first of all, I'm not really the most active person on social media. So you're probably not going to see much from me on there. But I think what, separates this from your TikToks or YouTube is these are vetted professionals. It's not just some random person on the side of the road that's trying to teach kids how to play soccer or how to do a step over or shoot a ball. So I think that for me is what makes the difference. And we've spent time, developing the skills, developing what we want the content to be shared. Interviews. I mean, Amy Walsh, it's not just thrown together and see what works. Like there's actual thought behind it. And a big thing for me is that individual work. What would I have wanted as like a 10-year-old kid?
Okay.
And, to start, that's the focus.
Christine Sinclair joins us. So, Christine, I want to go back to your career a little bit. And 190 international goals. And that's a lot, obviously. And the fact that it's Canadian is what I love because, soccer, it's infinitely more popular now. And obviously, we have yourself and there's so many other great Canadian soccer players who are global stars, right? Not just Canadian stars. And I think that's a big difference. But when you came up, was there a time where you noticed as Canadian that when you started playing international, and you play against European teams and, Team USA even, like the difference? How did you adapt? Did you notice the style of play or the skills were that much different? Or was there just a benefit that you had from, maybe the quote Canadian grit that everybody always talks about?
I don't even know how to answer that. I think for me, I mean, when I first joined the national team, what I benefited from was a head coach that took a chance on a bunch of young kids. The '99 World Cup had just ended. Canada did not do so well, and Evan Pellerin came on board, and he knew that he needed to invest in the next generation, the young ones coming up. And so I think of like myself, the Aaron McLeods, Candace Chapman, like all these players that probably shouldn't have been on the national team at the age of 16, 17, 18.
Okay.
But Evan knew that was the future. And so that, I think first and foremost, that's what I benefited from. It was a coach willing to throw the kids onto the field and kind of learn as you go. I mean, I lost games first on the national team, like losing 9-0 and things like that to the US, but the experience we gained definitely helped. And you learn quickest by just being thrown into it. And we definitely were. And yeah, we were gritty. We fought. We were an ugly team to play against, and we made it difficult for our opponents. And then I think what you've seen, especially over the past, 6 to 8 years, is just the evolution of our game and the skill. All these players going over to Europe now are playing in the NWSL. It's the first time in a long time Canada's had like every single player on the rosters playing professionally or playing at a top college. That wasn't the case 15, 20 years ago.
22 years ago in Edmonton, 2002, 47,000 fans came to watch your team play for Canada. And that really, as a player on that team, when you look back now, and I don't know if there's ever one moment where you're just, hey, like we're now in a different tier. Was that a moment for you where all of a sudden you're like, we got something here and we're going not only as a team, but as recognition from people following the team?
Yeah, I think thinking back to that tournament, there were two moments that stuck out. One was the opening game and walking out at Commonwealth and just seeing thousands and thousands of like Canadians all dressed up in Canada gear. And it was just, I'd never experienced anything like that. It reminded me of, what the US had, after their World Cup win in '99. And it was just like, okay, this is insane. And they're coming out to watch a bunch of kids play. And then the other moment actually happened after the final. We lost, and I'll never forget Cara Lang was just like devastated. We were all devastated, don't get me wrong, but she was just like not in a good place. And I remember just coming over to her and like just being like, Cara, look what we started. Like, this is just the beginning for not only this team and the players on it, because obviously we went on, a lot of us, to represent the full team for a long time. But yeah, it's the first time that Canadians like really supported women's football, and it was just the start. And yeah, we helped create that.
And then 18 years later, you win a gold medal at the Olympics, and you had real, right? But hey, it's hard, right? Like there's. Look at Italy. Italy's an unbelievable. So they can barely even get to the World Cup sometimes. Like to win, and then to be in the medals as often as you were, and you had bronze, and then you get to that gold medal. Like, I'm assuming for you, who was the face, and there's lots of pressure on Christine Sinclair that's rightly or wrongly probably different than some of the other players. And I'm not saying that you look at, but I'm sure maybe you feel it. To win that gold medal for the country, and in that whole tournament, and just kind of what an unbelievable, not that it would have lessened your international career, but I have to think that was that the most rewarding moment of your soccer life?
Oh God. I mean, probably. I think of, winning in Tokyo, and then the other one is winning our first bronze in London, and just London just being how dramatic it was with the loss to the US and then coming back and somehow beating France. And just realizing that you were going to have an Olympic medal. A Canadian soccer team was winning an Olympic medal. That was like the first moment for me that was unbelievable. But then, in Tokyo, it feels nice to win, and we finally put it all together. And I mean, for it to be my last Olympic Games, to be standing on the top of the podium, singing "O Canada" with some of your best friends, it's just it's indescribable.
Are you on a year-by-year basis for your professional career? Is that where you're at? You kind of just reevaluate at the end of each season, or do you have a set timeline?
I have plans, but we're just taking it like at this point, like month to month. And I always said I wanted to play at least a year of pro without the national team. I mean, men's players do it all the time, and it's been very rewarding to just be able to focus on one team, to not have to travel around the world in the middle of season. It's been amazing, and we'll see what happens.
And before I let you go, I want to circle back to SportsShare. You can go to sportshare.com. Of course, Christine Sinclair is on there. Can you give us a little bit of a teaser for all of the people that are going to sign up at SportsShare, what they can see or get or understand from Christine?
I think a big thing, individual skills, right foot, left foot, how to score some goals.
Okay.
And then some interviews to start just around, like, obviously good things happen on the field, but so do bad things, and how to deal with the mental side of the game. I go over missing my PK against Nigeria in the World Cup and how you rebound for that.
Yeah, well, I look forward to it, Christine. Thanks so much for doing this. It was an absolute pleasure to have one of the GOATs on our show. I really appreciate it, and all the best in your pro career, and of course with SportsShare. I think it's a fantastic platform to allow young aspiring kids the opportunity to learn from some of the greats and have an opportunity even to speak with them.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Christine Sinclair, just one of the most classy athletes Canada's ever had. Like, she was fiercely competitive, right? Like, you don't get to be one of the greats of the greats without just being an absolute baller on game day, right? Like, she was ferocious in a good way. But like, when you look at athletes who are, at the top and others, like, there's never been a scandal with Christine Sinclair, right? Like, I don't know if it was kind of like Gretzky in his prime for the longest time. Like, Gretzky never made a wrong step. Right? Like, you just never really saw it. And you didn't really see it with her either. She was always super humble and just fantastic career. I think it's so awesome that a Canadian in a sport that's very much more, other continents dominant, and Christine Sinclair is at the top for most goals. I think that's outstanding. And the fact that she wore number 12 for Roberto Alomar, it's kind of great. And man, there's like, how many girls now want to be number 12, right? Because the great part about being number 12 is, like, if you wear 99, it just stands out, right? Whereas 12, people know, okay, that's Sinclair, but like, there's lots of 12s. Like, I think it's a way to honor it without, people kind of looking side-eyed at you. You're wearing number 12, so it would probably still in the soccer community come with a little bit of pressure, but every team has a number 12. And there's not like a number 99, there's not a number 97 on every team jerseys. So that's kind of the other benefit, is you can wear it, and you don't ever get looked sideways. Because trust me, there's people. Heck, some people get mad if people wear 98. Never mind 99 or 97 in hockey circles. So I don't think anybody's getting mad when young girls or even boys, because hey, Christine Sinclair was an absolute gamer, and I love the fact she says, hey, left foot, right foot, few tips on how to score goals. So you can sign up, check it out at sports that's plural share.com. Yeah.
Get ready for promotions throughout the summer to help you make the most of those sunny Alberta days, because we all know they don't last long enough. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies with state-of-the-art motor coaches. We provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation. Our seatbelt-equipped buses have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, contact Ted Nakamura at 780-940-0880 or visit silentrides.ca.
Imagine hitting 13 out of 14 fairways from the tee. It can happen. It does happen with a driver created for you by Fitted Golf. We are the only company in Edmonton who fits for all 9 features of each golf club. Amateurs learn to play like amateurs from amateurs. Come work with our professional team of scientists, engineers, and club builders and get fitted with the clubs designed for one golfer. You visit fittedgolf.ca today. Fitted Golf, where we continue to prove it's your clubs.
It's the final week of the Brick's famous tent sale, and everything must go. Take up to 70% off clearance items in the tent and store, and find amazing deals in every other department before it's too late. Take up to $1,400 off sectionals, up to 25% off bedroom dining furniture, and up to 50% off mattresses. Hurry in while the tents are still up and the prices are down. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
At Fountain Tire, we love jingles. Get up to 25% off select tires.
Until October 19th.
Plus a bonus $50 off any service of $150.
Restrictions apply.
Book online today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
Other heroes hiding in plain sight. GS Construction. But who are these supermen and women in hard hats? They're the ones with the power to offer services such as infrastructure rehabilitation, water and drainage solutions, land development, general contracting, and more. And when they're finished doing what they do best, everything is covered and invisible to everyone's eye. So don't look for them in the sky. They're out on the roads and in your neighborhoods. Find out more at gsconstruction.ca.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need: Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Oh, won't you take me down to Memphis on a million? I won't move. Traveling pain. Yeah. Traveling pain. Take me to the hotel, back and go nowhere. Won't you get me to my room? I won't move. Traveling pain. Yeah.
$4.50. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley. You were a little bit late, but that's okay. It's not often you get Christine Sinclair in the show, and had lots of chat with her about. She was fantastic. If you missed any of it, check it out later at jasongregor.com or up anywhere where you get your podcasts. Let's get to 5 questions now, brought to you by The Brick. We're saving you more. The tent sale's going on. Get in now, boys and girls. Great deals this week. Up to Sunday, 60% off mattresses. Getting huge savings on furniture, appliances, big screen TVs, and more. Stop in the tent or go in store at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Jason, question number 1. We've got Matthew Savoy coming up on the show in about 25 minutes, give or take. How many games, if any, do you think we see from him playing with the Edmonton Oilers this season?
It's a good question. I get a sense he'll get in some, injuries or, late in the year, reward for playing well. So I will say 6 to 10.
Yeah, I'm with you. I kind of think it's going to be on the lower end. I'd love to see him get an opportunity, but if he's not called up, that's probably a good sign for the Oilers that they stayed healthy and things are rolling pretty well. So I'm going to go closer to the 6 mark, I think, for myself. Question number 2 today, of course, we have Christine Sinclair just on the show. So in honor of her and all that she's done, I just want to ask you, who is your favorite soccer player of all time?
That's a good question. Well, I think I have 2 for different times of my life. When I was a kid, Pele had kind of, I saw the videos on him, and he was just like, this guy's absolutely crazy how good he was. And then we followed Christine Sinclair. Like, it was great because you watched her literally grow up and just get better and better and more dominant. And then it kind of irked me when they would always talk about the best women's players in the world, and her name was never mentioned, even though she's the best scorer. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Right. So that always irked me. So made me want to cheer for her more.
I probably have to throw, Sinclair and then Carol Lang when they were here back in 2001 for the U19s. Like, they were unbelievable to watch. On a bigger scale, worldwide, international, I always liked Michael Owen and Steven Gerrard, probably because they both played for Liverpool and then played for England at the national level. So that's where I would start cheering for them. Question number 3, we've got Thursday Night Football, Dolphins, Bills. The Dolphins right now 2.5-point favorites, the over-under 48. Where do you think the smart money is tonight?
Well, you know what? I'm going to go with the D-man. He said take the over. So, you know me, I like the offense. So let's go over. And honestly, I have no idea who's going to win this game tonight. I really don't. Theo was outlined earlier. He says, hey, man, on paper, the Bills kind of downgraded in some of their positions and Miami didn't. Miami should win the game, but that doesn't mean they will. And Josh Allen owns them. He's 10-2. So maybe taking the Bills with the points, because that even means they could lose, but you still get it. So I think I'd probably go the Bills with the points.
Yeah, I might even take Bills money line. I love Josh Allen, love what he's doing. He's elevating his game. He lost 2 great receivers, but when you're a quarterback of his stature, you got to elevate everyone around you. He's got 2 good tight ends. He can run the football. I love how he plays. So, hey, if it's Josh Allen versus Tua, give me Josh Allen all day. Question number 4. Bengals cornerback Cam Taylor-Britt was asked about Chiefs wide receiver and rookie Xavier Worthy. And they asked what stands out. And he said, speed. That's about it. He can run straight. He can run jet sweeps, and he just runs straight. He can't do much else. That's about it. So when it comes to pre-game trash talk, do you like it?
Oh yeah, why not? I don't mind a little trash talk. Hey, like, you look at Worthy's first touchdown, he takes it on an end around. So clearly he can gain speed on a corner. But is he a great route runner at this stage of his career? No, he's a burner. So I don't think he's completely off base. However, when you're that fast, can this guy juke and jive and go lateral? Of course he can. But you know what? I don't mind it. Because what this does now, does this mean that Worthy's suddenly going to try harder? I've never believed that. Because if that means you're saying he would try harder, that's suggesting he wasn't trying hard enough to begin with. So I never have an issue with the trash talk. If it uses it motivation for someone for a second, great. But I don't think that that's motivation for all 60 minutes of the game.
No, but what I will say is if you're going to go to play Alberta and you can find anytime touchdown for Xavier Worthy, go do it. Because I feel like Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid might want to show something to this opposing corner. The game's at Burrowhead. Joe Burrow makes his return. So I think it's going to be a great game. I love it, but if I was going to throw some money down, that might be the direction I'm going in that one. Final question for you, and I'll invite this one to all of our listeners at 1-833-401-1440. National Video Game Day. So I know you're a big fan of Galaga. That's what it is?
Yes.
Galaga. What are your top 3 video games, though, of all time?
Well, I don't play a lot of video games now, so I'm going to date myself. Top 3 of all time, the ones I enjoyed the most. I'm going to go old school, and it's going to be in television baseball, because I spent my brother and I, we had a few summers when like, trust me, he would come back from hockey and we would play over the summer. We would have 100 games and we had to track all the stats ourselves. My mom found the books when we were moving on to the farm, and I found it was unbelievable because we kept record of every game. And the one summer I won 64 games. Oh, absolute domination. I don't think he's ever recovered from that bunch of an ass kicking that summer. But so I will go with Intellivision baseball. I am also going to go with track and field, only because I could never master the game. It was like the challenge. I could never get super good at it, but I loved it. But I don't know, you probably never played it. It was also the time there was Odyssey, there's no such thing as, I guess there's the arcade in West Edmonton Mall, but there's not arcades in strip malls anymore where there used to be. You'd come in the arcade, it's probably some kid smoking. I don't know, maybe there's somebody selling pot in the back. I have no idea. But it was a little shady place maybe. But man, I love it. And then you're sitting there and you'd be like, I still suck at it, but I loved it. And then Galaga's number one, no question.
There's a few I still play, so I probably have to put them a little bit higher. 1 and 2 in no particular order. Actually, I don't want to do that. GTA 5, still waiting on the new GTA whenever it finally comes out.
Okay.
Red Dead Redemption 2, just the games where you have the huge landscapes and you can go everywhere. And I'm going to say Tony Hawk's Pro Skater would be the third, with an honorable mention to GoldenEye, because I had a lot of good nights playing GoldenEye with the boys as a younger kid. So I got to throw that in as an honorable mention, but Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. The soundtracks were always amazing. The game was fun. So that'll be my top 3.
All right. I like it. There would be, there's some great video games. I know now, I've never, some of the younger games, I've never played Fortnite. Everybody talks about it. They love Fortnite. I never played it. My son has it. He keeps asking me, but I'm like, why do I want to play it? You're going to crush me. So maybe I should. What I need to do, I think, is I need to be the dad who starts practicing at night when he's not around. And then one day say, hey, do you want to play? And then show up. Not necessarily win, but not get embarrassed. That's, but I don't know. I don't really have the time. I don't love it that much anymore to want to do it. Now, you throw me in a Galaga tournament, I'm in. But I don't really have time to want to, there's so many buttons now, man. It's just, I'm a simpleton when it comes to video games. Very much simple. Some would say simpleton in a lot of things, but definitely in video games. No question about it. Coming up, we got Mark Spector and then Matt Savoy talking about hometown kid. Going to pull on the jersey. I know it's in a rookie camp, but still, big thrill. His first opportunity to impress the organization. Obviously, they traded for him. They know what they're getting. But, hey, you want to make a good first impression. So we'll talk to Matthew Savoy coming up after Mark Spector. And first, a Connor Halley Sports 1440 update brought to you by Booster Juice. Stop in and the Booster's Secret Smoothie menu. Smoothies too refreshing to keep on the hush-hush. Download the Boosters Reward app today and get in on the secret.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Week 2 of the NFL season kicking off tonight as the Bills head down to Miami, taking on the Dolphins at 6:15. The Dolphins will be without running back Raheem Mostert. Looks like Devon Achane good to go with the ankle injury on the ice. The Devils will be without Luke Hughes for the start of the season. He's going to miss the first 6 to 8 weeks after a left shoulder injury he suffered during offseason training. And the Calgary Flames signing Jacob Pelche to a 1-year, 2-way deal worth $800,000. The former first-round pick appearing in 13 games last season with 3 points. Major League Baseball, 3 games done already. Astros knocked off the Athletics 6-3. The Reds halted the Cards 6-1. And it was the Rockies over the Tigers 4-2. Right now in the first, the Nationals lead the Marlins 1-0. Later tonight should be a fun one as the Yankees host the Red Sox, the Rays in Cleveland, Mariners take on the Rangers, and the Brewers up against the Giants. And in the WNBA tonight, Brianna Stewart and the Liberty heading to Arlington, Texas to take on the Wings. That gets going just after 6. Coming up in the hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet, as well as Edmonton Oilers prospect Matt Savoy. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Something just worked together. Sticks and pucks, cleats and AstroTurf. Your love for the game and Papa John's passion for better ingredients, better pizza. Nothing pairs with the game like Papa John's. Crafted with signature sauce, toppings, and original fresh dough. They're the champion of pizza. And now you're the champion of winning deals. Just order at papajohns.ca. Use promo code SPORTS20 and score 20% off any regular menu price order. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's. That's Sports20.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. for sales, service, parts, rental, and finance. When you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Buy early and score with the Stollery Children's Hospital Foundation Mighty Millions Lottery. Bonus prize deadline is midnight September 20th. Win Lower Bowl Oilers season seats plus $50,000 cash and begin to win the $2.5 million grand prize. A show home with $100,000 cash plus incredible vehicles, luxury vacations, and more. Oilers bonus prize deadline is midnight September 20th. Be mighty. Support Stollery Kids. Buy now at MightyMillionsLottery.com.
The Canada-wide clearance is on at Chevrolet. Get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2024 Silverado 1500 RST. Explore downtown hotspots with standard Chevrolet safety assist, including automatic emergency braking and HD surround vision camera. Or take on the great outdoors with an available 3-liter Duramax diesel engine and available in-vehicle trailering app. Oh, look, a cute chipmunk. Not so cute. Not so cute. Ask your Chevrolet dealer for details.
Gather around the radio, kiddies, for the best time of day. It's Oodle Noodle time. Listen in this week as your noodle hero battles the barbarous Bobby Burger. Now sing along. You know the words. Oodle Noodle time. Oodle Noodle time. You know what time it is now. Get up and give me your best Oodle Noodle dance. Your best time of day is Oodle Noodle time.
Diablo Boots in Canada West. 2 great names in work and cowboy boots. For over 60 years, Diablo has been selling the best-made Canadian boots. Diablo has boots from sizes 6E to size 15 EE, just for you. Why buy boots made in China like Ariat, Justin, or Red Wing, when Diablo has the best quality for less, made in Canada? Diablo has work and cowboy boots with replaceable soles and heels for longer life. So, save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard, on the east side of Save On Foods. Hurry in today for best selection.
How are you? Welcome back. It is the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440 Orders Nation, YouTube and Facebook, sports1440.ca. Thanks for all of you streaming there live. I love it. The numbers are growing all the time. Fantastic. It's always brought to you by playalberta.ca, where you can get in the game, play the Daily Grand today. Also, Thursday night football, the Dolphins and the Bills. And tomorrow, a record-breaking $75 million Lotto Max. Get all your tickets at playalberta.ca. Once again, big thanks and shout out to our ace producer, Brad Slater, for hooking us up with Christine Sinclair on the show today. It's fantastic. Let's get to the Spec Report now, brought to you by GS Construction. Hey, they're the goats of underground infrastructure. They get it done. Always reliable, always effective, and they're hiring. Go to Indeed.com and look up GS Construction as Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins us. Spec, how you doing?
Oh, doing pretty fair, Jay, on a rainy day here in the big city. What's going on?
Well, you know what? Hey, we had Christine Sinclair. It still irks me, Spec, when they always talk about the greatest women's soccer players. She was never mentioned in the conversation. Just kind of irks me, right? The Euros and the Americans, it was always them. And, that made me want to cheer for her even more. And so I was super pumped. I remember when they won the gold medal in 2020. Like there's certain gold medals that you remember for different sports at different times. And that's definitely one of the top for me. And, I was like Christine Sinclair because she was like that. She's like that quiet athlete that you're always fearful of because on game day, they're an absolute killer.
Yeah, she produced, right? She produced. Like the goals went in for her, man. She didn't just go out there and play, and she didn't just come close, and she didn't hit the post. She produced goals in a sport where, it's not very easy to score, right? She did it for years and years and years, and absolutely. And I recall, I believe it was the Olympics before the one that Canada won, where they got the really raw deal in the semifinal game against the States, and the refs were making a bunch of calls that went against Canada, and we lost that game. And they came back and won it, right? They delivered a gold medal against an American team that everybody favors and everybody talks about and gets all the ink. And the best player in the field is Christine Sinclair. Thank you very much. So I'm with you all the way on that one, Jay.
Yeah, she was a star, and pretty neat what they're doing on a website where people can go and they give you kind of tips for your select sports. And people can get involved. And it's kind of a neat idea, actually, and can even talk to them and interact with them. And it's I think it's a pretty smart thing. So we'll see how it goes. Now we're gonna have Matt Savoy on the show coming up after you today. They're out now in BC getting set for the rookie tournament, and it's now he's obviously I think it's without question he is the number one prospect in the Oilers organization right now. Yep. It's his first year pro, so you don't put any pressure on him. It's a lot different than previous years where Matt Savoy, first of all, he probably would have already been on the team at 18 or 19, never mind 20, and not on the team. But it just kind of shows the difference of where the organization is. But it's interesting there. He's playing the wing, and I think honestly for Matt Savoy, if he's going to come to the NHL, he's got a much better chance to play his role as an offensive player as a winger than the center iceman.
Well, I mean, I guess I'm not going to tell you that I know all the intricacies of his game. To me, obviously the biggest, he doesn't have to overcome skill because he's wildly skilled, right? I heard some quotes from him. He doesn't appear intimidated. I say that in a good way. He doesn't sound cocky, but he sounds confident, and you got to have confidence. You got to believe in yourself. His issue is size. His issue is size. So does he have a better chance of being a small producing player off the wing than he does from at the center ice position? I don't know. You tell me, Jay. Probably. It's hard to go up against big centermen all the time. They kind of dominate you a little bit.
Yeah, I was saying it's Spec more so because you got Draisaitl McDavid here. You're just not going to get to play center. That's
there's that end of it for sure.
Yeah.
Being a young center in this organization, you're not going to be a top 6 guy for the next 9 years. So sure, okay, I buy that for sure. Turn him into a winger, and you know what? Give him his chance in the AHL. Let him master that level. He's not going to get pushed onto this team. I hope he doesn't get pushed onto this team. I want to see Matt Savoy master the AHL level and then come up here with confidence once. Don't call him up 5 times and watch him fail up here. Call him up once when he's ready and watch him thrive up here.
Yeah, that's it makes sense, and I could see him if injuries occur. It comes up for a few games or whatever. But if he's up, then he plays, and if he's not going to play, then he goes back down. And he can play tons of minutes down in the mind. Are there others that you'll be intrigued by at all in this tournament for Order prospects?
Well, in a way, yeah. I think Bo Akey interests me. He interests me. He's a defenseman with some offensive pedigree. I'm not going to be in Penticton, but it'll be interesting to see how he does. And how close is Max Warner here? What's the distance between him and being able to help out in the back end? Because there's a bit of a circuit here of 1-year contracts on that back, in the Oilers defensive core, I can see. And it would be nice to see a young player come up and sign a 3-year entry level and be here for a while. So those are certainly 2 defensemen I'm looking at seeing. Obviously, Savoy is very interesting because, as you say, he's the top prospect. And Sam O'Reilly's interesting. He's going back. He's a first year, he just got drafted. So he's going back to junior. So we'll get a lot of chances to see him.
Yeah, the Oilers don't have a lot of draft picks. They only have 8 of their own draft picks here. Now, Savoy doesn't count technically as their own, but he's now a prospect. Same with Gruby out of Red Deer, right? So another guy who was drafted in the NHL, but just not by the Oilers. They just acquired his rights. And
yeah,
it's a different tournament for them in that regard. They're when you're in your win now window, it's just different than teams that are sad sack. We've seen the Oilers go to when you used to have Nugent Hopkins, right? And he would go there. And then there was Hall and Eberle. And then there was McDavid and Draisaitl and Nurse. Like it's a very different time now.
Oh, I covered all those tournaments. I must have been to that thing 8 or 9 times. Tons of fun. Great place to see the young guys. But now my boss out in Toronto says, you know what, Spec, we're going to send the guy from Calgary and the guy from Vancouver, not you. And you know why that is? Right? Because they got all the prospects now. So it's probably a good thing for Oiler fans. But it's a weird tournament. All those guys you named, none of them really shone at that tournament.
No, it's true.
Then none of them did. None of them stood like you went there to see Taylor Hall kick butt and stand out above all others. And he was good, but he didn't stand out above all others. Remember last year when Broberg went there? He did not. Was it last year? I think last year, 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years, I think. I think it was 2 years ago. Yeah.
Did nothing. I mean, way had more pedigree than every guy there. Best player in the tournament. Got nothing done. Didn't stand out one bit. So it's a bit of a weird tournament. And it's generally the guy that catches your eye is the guy you didn't expect to catch your eye.
Yeah, that's probably fair. And, I don't put a whole massive amount of stock into it. It's just, it's for the players, and we'll ask Matt, there's a lot of guys, this is their first run just to kind of show the Oilers organization who they are a little bit, right? Like he's in there for the first time and, lots of other ones. So that to me, I'm sure is exciting for all the young players. No question about it. But when you look at that and, how many of them will be here for training camp, they'll want some of them here for training camp just because, you want bodies and everything like that for the first few days, right? And they'll have 3 full days of camp. And then they got the preseason game next Sunday, the 22nd against Winnipeg. And then they play 5 preseason games in 6 days, right? So they're pretty busy there. They'll, I could see the cuts coming after that Friday, right? Because then you only have 3 games left and then you can get down. And they actually, this year, they finished with their final 2 games of the preseason on the road. And normally McDavid doesn't play in the last few preseason games, but I think he will this year.
I would see Connor McDavid certainly playing in that last preseason game in Vancouver. Probably not. I think that, like you said, the second last game's on the road. I don't know. I've asked Connor this more than once, and his answer is always, I got to have 2 games, and then I got to, I kind of decide if I want 3 games.
Yeah.
I think as he gets older, I'll bet you 2's enough for him. So he'll take a home game. I bet you for sure they put most of their lineup on the ice in that last Vancouver game. So let's see. Listen, these guys aren't 22 anymore. They're 27, 28. They don't need the games they used to need. They get ready quick. They're in fantastic shape already. They know each other. This team is going to pick up where it left off in a lot of degrees. There's not a lot of change here. A few guys, but not a lot of change. This preseason is about some kids trying to make a statement around here. A lot really more so than the veterans. These veterans, they just played in the Stanley Cup final. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, no, it's totally fair. What do you make Dermott's back and a realistic scenario for him at the end of training camp?
I don't know. It's a good question because he's if there's, let's say there's 3 guys looking to play with Darnell Nurse, looking for that spot, right? There's Stetcher, there's Emberson, and then I guess you got to say there's Dermott. He's the only left shot guy in there. So it surprised me they brought in a left shot guy. I feel like if Stetcher and Emberson are good, Dermott's not going to find a job here. To me, Dermott is, and the last one, we got to say this, remember, Nurse is hurt to some extent. I don't think very bad because we watched him in the captain's skates and he looked just fine. So he might be a little bit of insurance in case Nurse is hurt worse than they think. But I want to say to you, if Stetcher's good and Emerson's good and they show you they can play and Nurse is healthy, I don't know how you keep another left shot defenseman on this team. Do you see a way?
Well, I guess it comes down to your number 7 is either going to be a righty or a lefty. All right, so one or the other. And he also, like, who knows, maybe he signs a 2-way deal. And because like they don't have a lot of guys with NHL experience that they would be sending to the minors. Right. And so we know that injuries occur, right? Like now the Oilers have been ultra healthy on their back end, but guys like Cody Ceci, who doesn't miss games, and Vinny Desharnais, who doesn't miss a lot, those guys aren't here anymore. So, I think I won't be shocked if we see Travis Dermott sign a contract. Maybe it's a 2-way deal or whatever it is that just keeps him in the organization because they want a body at some point, because they only got 7 defensemen right now.
Yeah, no, that, I mean, if you're opening the door to having Travis Dermott maybe start the season in Baco, now that's a different conversation.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. Like they need some depth. They need veteran depth. If he doesn't have options, obviously he's going to come here on a PTO. He's going to get some ice time. His agent's going to shop him all over the league, not just Edmonton. And he wants to play in the NHL. That's pretty obvious. If the door is open at the end of training camp to sign him to the kind of deal where he can go to Bakersfield and be your 8th guy, well, I'll take Travis Dermott as my 8th guy every day. He's a veteran NHL defenseman. So yes, that works for me too, for sure. I'm just trying to think of ways to keep him among the top 7. And I'm just, like I say, to me, if Emerson and Stetcher are good, I kind of feel like, is Josh Brown kind of not your big number 7 guy here? Is that not what we think?
Yeah, they signed him to a 3-year deal right now. Yeah. Things can change, and it's not like it's a huge number, but yeah, like I think when they signed him, the conversation was likely like, yeah, you're going to have a chance to play here, kid.
Yeah. So I guess, and someone has to fail or get hurt for Dermott to take an NHL job here, is what I'm trying to say. If you're telling me playing Baco, I'd take him in Baco in a heartbeat, because if you do get some injuries, I'd sure rather call him up than Max Warner at this stage of his young career.
Oh yeah. You don't, the last thing they want to do, I would think, is bring up Max Warner at this point. That doesn't, that's not ideal by any stretch of the imagination. Spec, have yourself a great one. Matty Savoy will come up next. Appreciate your time.
Sounds good. I'll listen to him. Thanks, Jake.
There you go. That's Mark Spector and the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. Jason Gregor Show. We are live in the eWell studio, EWEL.ca, for all your electrical gear since 1976. Now they got a 24-hour online store all day, every day, where you can order it. EWEL.ca. When we return, Matt Savoy will join us on the eve of the first time where he's, I guess, unofficially a member of the Oilers organization, because he'll be representing Edmonton tomorrow in the rookie game when they take on Vancouver.
We've finished construction of our gamma radiation containment facility. Is it up to code? Is it going to be safe?
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Testing team reporting. We test your commercial operations using tools like infrared to ensure safe operation. Trust us to prevent potential calamity before it strikes.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your supplier of maximum comfort, bringing you the cool AC you need. You just have to
call Legacy. Call Legacy.
For comfort at night when the hot air suffocates you.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
For comfort in your wallet with no payments or interest for 1 year.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
You deserve comfort. Cool off today with AC from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
It's the final week of the Brick's famous tent sale, and everything must go. Take up to 70% off clearance items in the tent and store, and find amazing deals in every other department before it's too late. Take up to $1,400 off sectionals, up to 25% off bedroom and dining furniture, and up to 50% off mattresses. Hurry in while the tents are still up and the prices are down. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
At Fountain Tire, we love jingles. Get up to 25% off select tires.
Until October 19th.
Plus a bonus $50 off any service of $150.
Restrictions apply.
Book online today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
The Canada-wide clearance is on at Chevrolet. Get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2024 Silverado 1500 RST. Explore downtown hotspots with standard Chevrolet safety assist, including automatic emergency braking and HD surround vision camera. Or take on the great outdoors with an available 3-liter Duramax diesel engine and available in-vehicle trailering app. Oh, look, a cute chipmunk. Not so cute. Not so cute. Ask your Chevrolet dealer for details.
What's better than Tim's Rewards points? 2 times the Tim's Rewards points. Use Scan and Pay on the Tim's app from now until September 30th to earn 2 times the points. Pay, earn, and redeem all with one scan. Only on the Tim's app. Canada only, limited time only. Terms apply. See app for details.
Diablo Boots in Canada West. 2 great names in work and cowboy boots. For over 60 years, Diablo has been selling the best-made Canadian boots. Diablo has boots from sizes 6E to size 15 EE, just for you. Why buy boots made in China like Ariat, Justin, or Red Wing, when Diablo has the best quality for less, made in Canada? Diablo has work and cowboy boots with replaceable soles and heels for longer life. So, save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard, on the east side of Save On Foods. Hurry in today for best selection.
Plus,
This here's a jam for all the fellas. Try to do what those ladies tell us. Get shot down because you're overzealous. Play hard to get females get jealous. Okay, smarty, go to a party. Girls are scantily clad and showing body. A chick walks by, you wish you could sex her, but you're standing on the wall like you was Poindexter. Next day's function, high class luncheon. Food is served and you're stone cold munching. Music comes on, people start to dance, but then you ate so much you.
Oh, buddy. One of the greatest songs ever, especially if you can karaoke it. Money. Woo! I don't really have to sing. You just got to talk fast. So kind of up my alley. Not necessarily a great singer, but whoo, can get on there and do a little rap. It's nice. Real nice. Let's get to the oil report now, brought to you by Volvo Cars Edmonton. And speaking of nice, the XC90s in stock right now. You can get $4,000 off, or I know with 1.49% financing. That is a great deal. And trust me, if you get the XC90, you will never regret it. It is such a great ride. I've had one for 3 years. Absolutely love it. And speaking of loving it, our next guest, I have to think, is rather excited. It's been an eventful summer for him. It's quite the year. He won the WHL title as a member of the Moose Jaw Warriors, and then in the summer got traded from Buffalo, who had selected him 9th overall in the 2022 NHL entry draft, to the Edmonton Oilers. Matthew Savoy joins us. Matt, welcome to the show, my man. How you doing?
Doing good. How are you doing?
Hey, hey, no problem. Now, is it Matt or Matthew? Do you prefer one?
Most people call me Matt. I'm not too picky, though.
Okay. All right. Just don't call you late for dinner, right? That's what I always say. So
Yeah.
That's good. So it's been quite the last few months for you, man. You go to Moose Jaw, and you're in a community where they win their first ever Western Hockey League title. My nephew played in Moose Jaw and Prince Albert, those small towns in the Western League, man. Like, hockey's a big deal there. How was that experience in those few months for you? And were you surprised at just how rabid the Warrior fans were?
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. Getting to meet some of the guys on Moose Jaw while I was at the World Juniors in December was, a big help. Just making me feel comfortable and acclimated there early. And then, obviously, we had a really good run, a really special run with an unbelievable team and, some unbelievable fans behind us. And, it was really special to win it all.
So then, later on, I don't know where you were. Where were you when you got the call that you were traded to the Edmonton Oilers?
I was at home in Edmonton. it was during training camp, but I didn't, or summer camp, but I didn't go to Buffalo's development camp because my season went late and played in the Memorial Cups. So I was still back home in Edmonton.
So were you shocked?
Yeah, I was shocked for sure a little bit, but I think when you're around the game of hockey, you quickly realize it's definitely a business, and teams are always trying to make moves to get better, and so you kind of just always got to be prepared for things like that to happen.
Yeah, no, but it was, I'm sure it's always weird, but then it's like you're getting traded to the team you grew up watching. There's got to be some initial excitement, and then, oh, by the way, there's that McDavid kid on there, and he's not bad, and that Draisaitl guy, geez, he's not bad. Like you just saw them go to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. Like in a fantasy world, I don't know if you could think of a better place to go for you.
Yeah, no, exactly, and that just adds more excitement to myself. Being on a team that won last year, I mean, I'm as hungry as ever to continue to keep winning, and just being able to watch that run from afar and just see, what kind of team they had and how good they were playing. It was really cool to watch for sure.
Yeah. Matt Savoy joins us. So Matt, I see you, you've played wing, you've played center. Is there one you're more comfortable at?
No, I think, a big part of my game is being versatile and, being able to move up and down the lineup and kind of play wherever and with whoever. So, I think that's a part of my game that I really take pride in. And, I like to be available for, every position as I feel I've played them all growing up pretty consistently.
Now, last year, when you went to camp in Buffalo, there was a chance you could have turned pro, but there was the option to go back to junior. That's not there anymore. Well, I guess technically you can go as a 20-year-old, but that's not happening. So, you're playing pro this year, whether it's in the NHL or the American League, and every player comes to camp, you want to make it. So tomorrow night is your first kind of step to get noticed in the organization. Can you kind of take us through, the excitement level of it, or, I'm assuming you don't put too much pressure on yourself, but how do you approach this upcoming weekend in the prospect tournament for you?
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, just with a ton of excitement, trying not put too much pressure on yourself. I mean, it's September. It'll be my, first games back on the ice. So, it'll be nice to shake the rust off before main camp and get some really good high intense games under my belt.
And then you go to the main camp, Matt, and, you have the conversations with the organization and, 19-year-olds, it's like teenagers. It's not an NHL season, right? There's very few teenagers in the NHL. It's damn hard. And then you throw guys and, Leon Draisaitl, was a guy who benefited from time in the American League. And there's so many of them. How do you approach it as a young guy when you go to camp, especially because it's different? Like the team that drafted you, they haven't made the playoffs in decade. Whereas this team was a Stanley Cup contender. It's just different. Do you sense that at all, even in talking to the players, just kind of the timeline and where one organization is at and how different it is compared to Buffalo?
I think, that's from a player standpoint. I think you just want to worry about, how you're playing, how you're contributing wherever you're at. And I think that's just going to be my main focus going into camp. I don't think, I want to put too many expectations on myself, where I start the year or what happens. But, I just want to have a really good camp, prove that I deserve to play there and can play at the level and, just find some success in camp.
You did get a taste of pro hockey last year in Buffalo, of course, and in Rochester, right? In Rochester, 2 goals, 5 points in 6 games, making it look easy, which I know, of course, it isn't. And then, of course, you made your NHL debut in the 1 game. What did those 7 games, what did you take away from those 7 games that's going to help you this year?
Yeah, I think that was just a big boost to my confidence, honestly. Getting it down to Rochester and playing those games and playing, tough opponents on big nights where, we had a couple injuries and, they were big games. So it was definitely cool to experience the pro level and, just see how guys take care of their bodies and just how they act every day at the rink. It was just a good experience for me moving forward.
Matt Savoy joins us. Matt, I know obviously a lot of family and friends, they know you about in the community, but there's lots of Oiler fans that are excited, right? A 9th overall draft pick, somebody in the organization, and there's not a lot of them right now, especially with Holloway and Broberg leaving. So, fans are really excited. We're going to do a little kind of fun rapid fire with you a little bit. Is there any any special reason for number 22 for you?
I wore it in Dubuque during the COVID season when I went down to the USHL.
And then and you like 22, or are you a real numbers guy or not really?
I'm not too picky on the numbers. I mean, I don't mind number 22, so I just asked if it was available, and luckily it was.
Growing up, the Oilers, were they your favorite team? And if so, who was your favorite player?
Yeah, they were definitely my favorite team. Came to a ton of games growing up, and my favorite player was probably it's tough to say. Probably Alex Hemsky. I loved watching him when I was young.
Yeah, he was a pretty dynamic player, fearless player. Went to all the tough areas and scored some massive goals. You were always a skilled player, Matt, growing up. And at what point did you start to think that pro hockey was maybe something that you could actually do?
Yeah, I think from a really young age, it was always, my goal. And I loved being around the rink, and I loved going to NHL games, and I loved watching, even WHL games when I was growing up. So, it was always my goal to make it to that next level. And, I felt like in minor hockey, I worked really hard to make that happen. And, when the time came, I think I was just given really good opportunities to succeed. And, it's all panned out.
Do you have a favorite minor hockey memory before the WHL and AJHL?
Yeah, I think it would be winning the John Reed Memorial Tournament in St. Albert. Growing up in St. Albert, you always go to the games when you're really young, and you think it's like the coolest thing ever. You think these guys are like almost competing for the Stanley Cup when you're going to those school games. So winning that when I was 12 or 13 was really cool.
Yeah, that was in 2017. Is that right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cause you were lighting it up that year and like you were a young kid on that team. Like you've always, what was it about hockey that you just seemed to gravitate towards? Why was it such a passion for you at such a young age?
I think my parents were always around it, and having an older brother that's 2 years older than me in it. I mean, that was definitely one of the main reasons. I was always just at the rink when I was young and watching him. So when I was, of age to start playing, I was as full throttle as can be. I was asking to go to the rink whenever, and my parents were super supportive. They wanted me to work hard and follow my dreams. So they were really, really supportive and special in all of it.
Matt Savoy joined. Now, when you won that year, Carter was on the team with you, if I'm not mistaken, right? Was that the only year you guys, because of your age gap, was that the only time you played together?
We played together the year before in St. Albert, but we also played in the John Reed that year as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, because I think I look at that team, Zach Ostapachuk was one of your teammates. He's now in Ottawa. Mike Benning in Florida, Ethan Edwards. Like you had some, like those some pretty good teams you had in St. Albert. Obviously your brother Carter drafted by the Oilers. So, pretty good group of guys at a young age.
Yeah, 100%. That was kind of the first year I ever played as an underage and got to play with that 2002 age group. And, that 02 age group and even the 03 age group from St. Albert are incredibly strong. Each of them have numerous NHL draft picks and, guys playing pro hockey. So, being an underage kid going up to a bantam team where, there's so many good players that are looking to go to that next level and striving to go to that next level, it was definitely big for my development.
The offensive instincts, what did you do as were you on the ODR lots? How did you develop and get better just instinctually as an offensive player?
Yeah. I mean, we had a little rink in our basement. We had a rink in our backyard as well. And I was always at the outdoor rink. I mean, I just feel like I was always on the ice, just, working on my craft, trying to get better. And, it's just a matter of repetition and putting in the work.
Favorite video game?
Probably Call of Duty. Haven't played Call of Duty much recently, but we'll see if I get back into it during the hockey season. That's usually when the Xbox comes back out.
And we were talking bikes earlier. Did you ever have like a Kuahara or a cool BMX bike as a kid?
No, I didn't. My brother and I we had like that little rink set up in our basement. So I don't know if you know what like a ripstick skateboard is, but we'd ride on those and like play 1-on-1 against each other in the basement for hours on end. So I don't know if that's kind of like a cool, item to use, but yeah.
How much damage in your parents' basement?
Oh, well, that was before they got it finished. So it was unfinished.
Smart.
Yeah, my dad works for the city of Edmonton, so he got they were taking down a rink in Edmonton, and he just like took a bunch of the boards and installed them in our basement. So we had like a nice area for a rink and 2 nets. So
my God,
pretty dialed in.
Yeah, so you and Carter are playing, but your buddies must have come over then. That's like a young kid's dream basement, unfinished, not going to get ripped on if something breaks, but also having the boards there, like you must have had some epic battles in that basement.
Oh, absolutely. We're always inviting friends over to come play big games, and yeah, I mean, our house was definitely one of the big hangout spots with our buddies, just because the rink and the unfinished basement and everything.
Matt Savoy joins us. Matt, let's go to the weekend. You got Vancouver tomorrow, Calgary, and then Winnipeg most likely play 2 out of the 3 games. And what's kind of planned as far as team bonding, team outings that you guys will be doing in Penticton? Anything special?
I think we're going to Duncan Keith's on Sunday for dinner, so that'll be a nice time. And we got a really good group here. I think the guys have gelled really well and really fast together. So it's been a lot of fun just hanging out with the guys in the hotel room and going on the travel day yesterday. It's been awesome.
Well, Mac, good luck. Congratulations, the opportunity to play for your hometown. That'll be a thrill when it happens. Most kids grow up dreaming about doing that, and now you're going to live out that dream. So best of luck this season.
Thanks very much. I appreciate it.
Matt Savoy from the Edmonton.
You're listening to Jason Gregor Show.
Was drafted by the Sabres in 2022. Got acquired by Edmonton earlier this summer for Ryan McLeod. Like, his dad's got to be getting some pretty good dad points. So you have the unfinished basement, which is epic in itself because you're not going to get a lot of trouble from your parents. From maybe you rip a little bit of the insulation off the wall, maybe, and then dad gets some boards to put up. Genius. It's outstanding. That'd be a great basement to play in all the time. Because I know a lot of you out there, you got your kids and they're in the basement and you try to set up some netting and stuff like that to try to protect them, but it doesn't work. And it works okay, but there's always something broken. Then eventually they graduate because there's windows. And as they get older, suddenly now everybody wants to go bar down. Next thing you know, you're going bar window. Not great. Not great at all. But Matt Savoy is the young prospect in the organization that I think all Oiler fans are the most high on, as they should be. And it will be interesting to watch kind of his progression, development this season. And when he's in Bakersfield, I think he's going to play a ton of minutes. And how he plays, wouldn't be shocked at all if Savoy is a guy who gets a second half recall. But I think he's going to start the season in the American League just because they want to get him as much ice time as possible. You start in Edmonton, unless there's an injury in the top 6, there's just no room right now. Not yet. But you play well enough, they'll make room for you. We'll come back, wrap things up on a busy Thursday. We had Christine Sinclair on the show earlier. I've been talking about the Oilers. A big announcement, the con man going to be a father very soon. Him and his wife, Ashley, are expecting a baby boy. And we got some great, we had asked, what name should they have? Wrong answers only. And some of these are epic. We'll get to those and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca and Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, Oilers YouTube, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Rule number 37. Elk Island mosquitoes don't believe in personal space. Keep bug spray ready at all times. Summer in Alberta has its own set of rules. And if you're looking to add a little extra fun, Play Alberta has it all. Use promo code SUMMER to snag a $50 casino bonus for casino, instance, and live dealer with your next deposit. Get ready for promotions throughout the summer to help you make the most of those sunny Alberta days. Because we all know they don't last long enough. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
Buy early and score with the Stollery Children's Hospital Foundation Mighty Millions Lottery. Bonus prize deadline is midnight September 20th. Win Lower Bowl Oilers season seats plus $50,000 cash and be in to win the $2.5 million grand prize. A show home with $100,000 cash plus incredible vehicles, luxury vacations, and more. Oilers bonus prize deadline is midnight September 20th. Be mighty. Support Stollery Kids. Buy now at MightyMillionsLottery.com.
The Canada-wide clearance is on at Chevrolet. Get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2024 Silverado 1500 RST. Explore downtown hotspots with standard Chevrolet safety assist, including automatic emergency braking and HD surround vision camera. Or take on the great outdoors with an available 3-liter Duramax diesel engine and available in-vehicle trailering app. Oh, look, a cute chipmunk. Not so cute. Not so cute. Ask your Chevrolet dealer for details.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV, and the time to think about winterizing your RV is before the snow flies. There's a lot of steps you need to take to winterize your trailer or motorhome.
And you have to get every step right every single time. Right, Rick?
That's right, Bob, because if you make even a little mistake, you might not realize it till spring. By then, it's too late to fix what you got wrong.
Hey, Rick, do you winterize your own trailer?
Not anymore, Bob. I hired people who are smarter than me. Genius technicians who check every component. Dozens of systems to be maintained and protected. And today, we offer that service to you, starting at $99. Every winterization package comes with a full report in writing, so you know what to expect come spring. If you're confident to do it yourself, have at it. If you're like me and you'd rather have this done by somebody who knows what they're doing, then come to No Bull, and we'll take care of you.
And that's No Bull. NoBullRV.ca.
Like we always do with this time. Go for mine, I got to shine. Now throw your hands up in the sky. Go for mine, I got to shine. Now throw your hands up in the sky.
Hey, I'm going to the good life with the CLT. Won't even get pulled over in they new feed. The good life. Let's go on a living spree. They say the best things in life are free. The good life. It feel like Atlanta. It feel like LA.
5:45. Welcome back, Gregor. Connor Halley, Declan Cougar with you. Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube and Facebook. Oh, some of the names, classic. Absolutely. Hey, Connor, did you veto Jason? Yeah, because of Strudwick. He ruined it, but Gregor's on the list.
Veto Jason and Wayne as well.
Oh yeah, and Wayne, yeah. And, not Wanye, no chance that one's happening. Hey guys, I have the pleasure of having two middle names, Herbert and Ernest. I was freaking Bert and Ernie my entire life. Oh man, so like, are Herbert and Ernest, were those your grandfathers, or is it was it your dad's name? I'm curious, but Bert and Ernie. Oh yeah, because once your buddies find out about that, like it's on. It has to be. That's a no-brainer. Like, your name's Mark, no one's calling you. Like, how many years did you go that no one ever called him that? Bert or Ernie? Oh, that is outstanding. Outstanding. Bruce McCurdy. He might win with this name, Connor. It can only be Comet Halley. Ooh, not bad.
If I was an elite athlete and could have run a little faster, I always thought that would have been a great nickname for me. A real name, I don't know.
The Comet?
The Comet, yeah.
Yeah, well, there's different names out there.
There is, certainly.
Like, I've never heard of anybody naming their kid Comet. I'm not saying it hasn't happened. I've just never seen it. I haven't seen an athlete, but there's probably somebody who's named Comet. I would have to think.
I wonder, because they do put out that list every year about the baby names.
Yeah.
To check it.
Baby names in Alberta, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would, well, the top name, because you don't like the top names the last few years are still like the same. Noah, Liam, which are actually my nephew's names, but they're 28 and 26. Theodore, Oliver, Jack, William, great name, by the way. Benjamin, Henry. So those are some, but I don't know all the boys' names in 2023. We'll look at that. Did anybody in Alberta name their kid Comet? We'll see.
Just looking it up. Nobody did. No comment.
Well, hey, guess what? It'd stand out.
Could be a game changer.
Yeah. People would like it. What's your name? Comet. Halley. You're getting instant respect there, I think. Right? There was a Come, C-O-M-E, but not Comet.
There was 3 Cosmos. As J Rod texted in, Cosmo.
Cosmos, like plural.
Yeah.
Cosmos.
Why one when you
now that's isn't that a big name in like Italian? Am I wrong on that? One of those Eastern European, I'm sure.
Greek, it looks like.
Maybe, Greek, duh. Yeah. So
Cosmo is a British and Italian name. It looks like so.
Somebody named their kid Coyote. There's a coyote. There's a Danish. Maybe it's Danish because it's 2 A's. Huh, that's you know what? A few Dales. Dale's coming back out of retirement. Yeah, a few Dales.
Love Chippendale. Rescue Rangers. Not Chippendale.
Now, maybe just name your son Thomas and he could have the courage to actually use his real name. Or are you going to be, is the middle name going to be the key here for your son? Is this going to be something, because anybody listening, it's actually Thomas Connor Halley, but it's always been Connor. I don't know when that changed. I don't know when your dad decided to fail as a father and stop calling you by your birth name, but it happened.
From the start.
Oh, right from a young age.
Yeah, I was Connor from the start, but my real name was Thomas. I will never do that to.
Did you ever ask why? Like, what was the reason why they just did they change their mind afterwards and realize, you know what? I think we like Connor better, which is fine. Connor's nothing wrong with that name. It's a good name, especially in Edmonton now. People are like, oh, Connor.
Inspired greatness, some say, but I don't think that I don't know. Honestly,
You've never asked?
I've asked thousands of times.
Oh, okay.
I think he told the story at my wedding, but the story changes all the time. So I don't really know what the story is.
Okay.
So yeah, it's I think it's just they last minute really like the name Connor. Were convinced already to go with Thomas and said, "Oh, we'll just call him Connor." It messed up a lot of things. Traveling's tough. Banking, lots of things are really confusing, but I would never do that to anyone. I wouldn't recommend it either. Just if you're going to name your child by the first name, call him that.
Why don't you just change it?
I could. I mean,
I could leave. Like, it wouldn't be hard. So this year there was one Connor, Conner, or it's in 2023. There was 3 Conor, 1 N, and then there was 33 Connor, Connor. So a total of 37 Connors, just spelled a little bit different.
Proper.
Mm-hmm. In the 33.
33
That's
cents.
the proper one.
Yeah.
Jason, there was 23 Jasons, Jason. I'd have to look to see if anybody may. Oh yeah, 6 people. Weak. J with a Y, Jason with a Y. It's a tough one. So 37 Connors, 29 Jasons. So the Jason's slowly coming back. For like when I was born, it was brutal. Like even in my neighborhood now, adults, there's like 3 Jasons within like 6 houses. It was always almost too popular of a name. So I think there's something about having it where it's not as popular because everybody's named that. And then, for the longest time, people didn't even know my first name. They always called me Gregor because there's so many Jasons.
Was that you in like junior high? Just go by the last name?
Well, it wasn't necessarily me, but there were so many Jasons they had to differentiate. So, Gregor was an easy name to say, right? Compared to some of the other guys' last names. So, and I didn't mind it, right? But it was odd when someone would call the house. My dad, they'd be like, "Yeah, can I talk to Gregor?" My dad would be like, "Pardon?" I talked to Gregor. He's like, which one? And people were like, they didn't know what he meant. Because some people in high school for the first bit, they just assume my name is Gregor.
Hmm.
There you go.
There's a lot of Leons as well.
Oh, yeah. Leon's coming back.
37 Leons and then...
And 30... Whoa.
Leon.
There's 37 Leons and there's 37 Connors in 2023. Spelled different, but still 30. They're all enunciated the same. I don't think the CONOR is enunciated different than the CONNOR or ER. It's not Connor. I don't think so.
Nope.
I would hope not. Don't do that. Don't do that. So.
And Leo, really. 100. And Liam. Yeah, you mentioned Liam, 181.
Oh, yeah.
People like that.
Yeah. Hey, guys, stay away from Damien for the love of teachers everywhere. No Damien. Oh, sounds like there's a lot of those. Hey, guys, what about Barry? Barry Halley? It's not bad, actually. I like that one. Oh, name him Comet. Get him, or maybe get him a pair of boxing gloves. I'm naming Muhammad Halley. Oh, now we're getting somewhere, Chris. Muhammad Halley.
The most popular name in the world.
Oh, my goodness. Is it still, though?
I don't know. I just
don't know.
Trusting McLovin when he said it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was a classic scene. Oh, God, I love it. So, yeah, congratulations to the con man and Ashley. They are going to be parents here soon. Nice. Big, we'll might just have to have a fun party. We're always looking for a reason to have a fun party, get together. We'll have to think about it. So, coming up on tomorrow's show, Monte Gretz is back. We will talk a little bit more about the prospects. Miami, will they continue to get crushed and dominated by Josh Allen? He's 10-2 in his career against the Dolphins. We'll try to change that tonight in Thursday night football. Enjoy all of that and much, much more. On behalf of Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, all of our guests, I'm Jason Gregor. Let's get to a Sports 1440 update brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Right now, use the promo code. It's still on. Use the promo code SUMMER and snag a $50 casino bonus for casino instance and live dealer with your next deposit and get your tickets for the Daily Grand. Good luck at PlayAlberta.ca. Good night.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Week 2 in the NFL gets going in about 20 minutes as the Dolphins hosting the Bills down in Miami. The Dolphins will be without running back Raheem Mostert, while it looks like Devon Achane good to go. He'll play through the ankle injury. The New Jersey Devils will start this upcoming season without Luke Hughes, as it was announced today. He'll miss 6 to 8 weeks with a left shoulder injury. He suffered the injury during the offseason, and the Calgary Flames signed Jacob Pelletier to a 1-year, 2-way deal worth $800,000. The former first-round pick played in 13 games with the Flames, had 1 goal and 2 assists. Major League Baseball, a couple games underway right now. Nationals lead the Marlins 3-2. Top of the third, Yankees up on the White Sox 1-0, and the Rays trail the Guardians 2-1 in the third. Later tonight, Mariners take on the Rangers and the Brewers in San Francisco. Earlier today, the Rockies knocked off the Tigers 4-2. Cards over the Reds 6-1, and the Astros doubling up the Athletics 6-3. One game in the WNBA tonight as the Liberty take on the Wings. Tip off in about 10 minutes. That'll do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Coming up next, we've got Fox Sports Radio, and then tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., it is the Kevin Carrier Show with Kevin, Brandon Douglas, and former CFLer